Go live button. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are live on tonight's episode of the ZodWriter Show. And I'm starting off the show right away with a panel of experts, I would say. These are gentlemen who definitely know what's going on when it comes to all this stuff. And if you haven't read the title yet, or you don't know what tonight's episode is about, we are dedicating this entire live stream to Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. And I am ZodWriter. If this is the first time you're tuning in, I have my co-host Johnny Alpha and that one Carlos. And we are joined today on the panel with a couple of my good friends that I'm very happy to have here, Mr. Bat Dan and the Watchtower himself, Jeffrey Warfield. And this is this is a show that is super exciting for me because I was hyped up for Army of the Dead so much. Like, I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed the movie. I mean, I knew I was gonna love the movie, but like for me to like feel about it the way that I do, like I watched it, I've seen it 3 times just over the course of this weekend, and I can't wait to watch it again. I'm looking for more. I can't wait to see all these other things we're going to get. I'm personally really stoked for, the prequel stuff we're going to be getting and all of the stuff. It's like hard for me to believe what type of a world we're living in where we get 2 Zack Snyder masterpieces in 1 year. And that's just unheard of. So I want to start with you, Jeffrey Warfield, right away. I want to get your initial thoughts on Army of the Dead.
Really? I gotta say, like, leading up to this, and this is coming from a zombie, from someone who really isn't a hardcore zombie fan.
Same here.
Like, really, I'm actually surprised on how much hype this movie has gotten, not just from Netflix, because I really was expecting Netflix to go all in with this, with the promotional material, but just with the word of mouth, with how big this movie has been. Like, it's been #1 worldwide for 3 days straight. Like, and really for a zombie movie on its own, it just, like, for a long time, if you know me personally, I've been saying, I actually said this during my reaction video to the first trailer, that to me, I've always seen the zombie genre as really kind of this vanilla genre where nothing really changes and no one does any brave moves with it. And really, like, this movie really gave me what I have been waiting for, which is something different, something just some kind of change with the genre. And Army of the Dead definitely delivered on that, especially with, I think a lot of people are going to be talking about that time loop theory, but we'll wait for that. So yeah, like, I really did. I would say is my favorite. Army of the Dead is my favorite zombie movie.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me, Jeffrey. I'm with you. I don't think that there have really been. I mean, there's been a ton of zombie movies, but I really feel like this one had so much depth to it, and it resonates, and it has a powerful story, and there's a lot of layers and a lot of homages and things to other things that happened. I mean, I know you guys saw the Snyder Cut reels in the vault. I know you guys did. Listen, to me, okay, Bat Dan, we're gonna go with you too. I want to just get your initial reactions right off the bat for Army of the Dead.
Well, I think we can all agree the moral of the story is don't have sex and drive.
Yeah, that's a good. Well, yeah, that and don't bring your daughter along to a heist in Las Vegas where there's flesh-eating zombies.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the few criticisms I had of the movie. I think it was which I'm sorry, Zero, I'm kind of stealing your idea, but I'm citing my sources. I think one thing would have been better is if she snuck in instead of him agreeing to tag her along. But other than that, though,
well, I don't think the team. I don't think if this was an actual real life event, I don't think the team would have allowed Batista to bring his daughter on this one because they know she's just going to get in the way. She's just going to create. It's just going to be a problem, and that's what it was. She was the villain of the story. If you ask
pretty
me.
much,
She got everybody killed. She was the biggest. She was the
really
worst.
Because if you really think about it, like the villain of the movie wasn't really in the way of the team at all. He was just doing his own thing. But he was doing his own thing on the side. But the daughter was like deliberately involved with the team, and that is what caused everything to go crazy.
Right.
So,
right. And Batman, I want to. Oh, go ahead, Carlos.
No. I think I think the proper term would be liability.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
Definitely. And Batman, there's a thing that you had pointed out about the zombies on Twitter that I liked, where you had said that you pointed out that the idea is that, you know, these zombies have like a code of honor. So if you leave them alone and you offer up a sacrifice to the zombies and then you leave them alone, they're not going to mess with you because they're kind of, they're kind of in their own little world. They have their own little culture and society kind of a thing.
Yeah, because if you think about it, because if you really think about it, the Army of the Dead takes place a few years after the outbreak, right? So hypothetically, those zombies could have hopped to those containers. Like they really could have hopped out of those containers. And really, for a zombie city, you usually see them walking around all over the city in the streets and stuff. But for this one, you really don't see any zombies at all in the streets.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I liked about the movie is that, was one thing is they actually got they quarantined it right away. They saw a threat, they contained it like that, and that's one thing. It's just, there's a lot different about this movie compared to other zombie franchises, such as Walking Dead. Is that one, zombies themselves are actually a threat. Like I could actually believe those guys taking over the world versus these walkers that move like fucking snails or like.
Right.
Oh,
with the original runner, but yeah.
And less plot armor. Like, there's no character who, survives because they're the main character and they need to survive. I mean, I think Kate had a little plot armor, but other than her, I like that no one was safe.
I will tell you this. The most remarkable thing for Army of the Dead for me is the fact that Zack Snyder made the ultimate Suicide Squad movie without using any DC characters. So kudos to Zack Snyder. He made the best Suicide Squad story ever. And that one, Carlos, brother, I really want to get your initial thoughts on Army of the Dead.
Yeah, so I really liked Army of the Dead, and it's a lot different than many other movies. I wouldn't say like it in terms of like what I find appealing. It is up there, and it would be my favorite. It's my favorite serious zombie movie. So a zombie movie that takes itself seriously, and there's like serious like threats and stakes within it. Apart from like some of my other favorite zombie movies like Zombieland and like Shaun of the Dead and stuff like that. So I would say that. And when it comes to the characters, like if we're not going too deep, not just yet, like I loved like almost all the characters. Daughter was, some of them were a little kind of poorly written or poorly like laid the foundation, like Gita and stuff like that, and Batista's daughter Katie, because they kind of had some shaky motives, and sometimes the pacing was a little off because there would be times of great like distressed because like literally there's a timer built into the movie in the fact that the whole city's gonna get nuked. So when they try to have these emotional heart moments, in the climax, it kind of falls a little short.
Oh my god, I was in the theater going like,
yes, because you're literally like just gritting your teeth and like biting on your nails and be like, just get the hell out of there. What are you talking for?
and they would have been alive.
So, I mean, if the time loop theory exists, hopefully they shut their mouths in the next iteration of the time loop.
Now that's the other thing. That whole time loop scenario, the idea of the multiverse and infinite Earths and types of things, the concept that they brought up in the movie about the possibility of living in a time loop. Yeah,
I think I speak for everyone who, when they saw Army of the Dead for the first time and they first heard that first tirade, we were all like, okay, that means something. That means something right there.
Yes.
And you know what? So I was like looking at Twitter and stuff like that. And, like the Twitter people are always smarter than me because they always catch on and they always point it out. But if you start looking at the little details that kind of allude to the whole time loop thing, if you see like the clothing that the skeletons before the vault wear, that were the ones that like damaged the card reader and they couldn't get through the gate, so they just ended up dying there. Like if you look at the one that was supposed to represent Maria's character, or I think her name was Maria, the kind of semi love interest of Dave Bautista's character, her keychain had three holes in it, three holes and the key on the necklace. And then the one that we do see, Maria, that died from getting her neck twisted and stuff like that, she had four holes in the key on her necklace. So that could be kind of like a nod to this is the fourth iteration of the time loop, and each iteration they get closer and closer and closer. And you could see things that kind of make it kind of strange because sometimes people know things that they probably shouldn't if this is their first time doing it.
Yeah.
So like when Dieter is learning how to shoot a gun, he picks up supernaturally, even though he looks like somebody who never touched a gun before, and doesn't even know the concept of killing a zombie. You know what I mean? So he learned that quickly. And then when the card reader was damaged and they couldn't get past that metal gate, Vander already knew what to do. Didn't even say anything. Just went into his bag, grabbed some C4 and put it on there. Like, how would you know you'd have to blow something up?
I have a theory. I have a theory that Vander actually is aware of the loop. Time loop.
It's like Vander Groundhog Day.
Because this is actually something I noticed. When you see the first few minutes of Zeus, and when you see the first 15 minutes, we're introduced to Zeus. Young Zeus kind of looks like Vander, and what I noticed is that Vander, when we're first told about the alphas, the first person that says that calls them alphas is Vander as well. So I think that if what I think Zack is doing here, I believe that Zeus and Vander are one and the same and person, the loop is that zombie Vander is the alpha, and then Vander with the omega symbol on his chest, which is the last letter of the Greek, is really the last zombie. So I think the time loop is always going to end with Vander being a zombie and the cycle starts all over again.
It would explain why he wasn't panicked at the end of the movie. He didn't seem like it was more like an oh shit I spilled something kind of reaction, not a oh crap I'm dying reaction.
Yeah,
I have a question too. The blue smoke that comes out of Zeus's head when he gets shot that we also see in the zombie fetus, do you think that has something to do with the loop? Do you think that
I
that is a
don't know.
proponent of it?
I don't know if that
Because
has to do with it, but I just think that blue blood and that blue kind of mist and essence is just the nature of the zombie virus, because the zombie virus originates from Area 51 and it's probably alien in origin, and like the military is probably experimenting with that, and then that just results in zombies having that kind of blood.
Vega, what's up, man?
What's going
Hey,
on?
but
Welcome to the stream, Vega. We're spouting all these very, very interesting theories that are all probably true.
Right.
So at this point, I'm gonna come to you, man, and get your initial thoughts on Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. What's up, brother?
Bro, what is up, guys, gentlemen? Appreciate being on here with y'all. I'm listening. I've actually been listening to you, listening to what you guys been talking about since it started. I gotta say, like, Zach did it again. He just did it again. Every scenario could be right. Every scenario could be wrong. You know what I mean? There's not like really anything set in stone, right? You watch this movie, and it's what I think. What I appreciated the most about it is, I just feel like he had so much fun with this movie. That's the vibe you get watching this film. Like, it's almost like, I mean, if you've watched how they made Army of the Dead, that little like 30-minute thing, he kind of touches on that, right? Where he said we wanted to take things serious, but at the same time push the envelope on the gags, the cliches, and you felt that. The beginning of the movie, I don't know about y'all, but like at first it was like hilarious to me. Like, I'm like, yo, this is funny as hell. Like, like not the scene with the army, the army guys, but literally once you pass that moment, like everything is like a gag. Even the piano player breaking the fourth wall, and pointing at the audience.
and that was actually an improvised shot too.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. And then even the safe cracker, even when he's like, wait, like, like it was constant, like, moments of like, is this really happening? Like, it's just like it's not what you got in Dawn of the Dead. This is like a whole different thing in that aspect of like what he was able to do with this film. And yeah, so like all that to say that he, you were able to like, it was like a roller coaster of emotions, like you're laughing, you're having fun, but as I think Carlos was stating, like there's those moments where you're like, you're biting your teeth and your nails, whatever, like, you're anticipating things. Then there's those moments like you really can't even enjoy the victories because it's like you kind of know that misery is going to follow it, and
like for me, it was like I knew when they were in that elevator, and all of a sudden I heard Culture Club, do you really want to hurt me? I knew it was over. I was like, man, Zach knows what he's doing. It's like you hear that and you're like, that's a bad omen right there. If you're in an elevator and you hear Culture Club, get the hell out of the elevator. That's number one.
And this is actually a solo one too. When they get into the vault, and when they actually get into the vault, and there's that musical cue, and it sounds all cheery. Apparently, that is actually a funeral song that plays. That is a actual thing.
Yeah, his use of music in this movie was utterly perfect because every song was used in a wholly perverse way that only Zack Snyder can do. And Reese makes a great point down here.
I like this, Reese, man.
I'm telling you, this point right here is awesome. He says this might be far out there, but what if the baby creates the loop to ensure that he is born? I'm down.
That kind of reminds me of Edge of Tomorrow. Give me Edge of Tomorrow vibes.
And this is actually something
I guess
Zach
the look
comparing
would start.
today, and this is actually something that Zach comparing today, that the zombies do reproduce. So guess that comparing that question of
And you know what that also means? That also, if the zombies reproduce, that also means the zombies aren't dead. If you notice, like when you look at Zeus and stuff, he's not decaying. He's not becoming all skin and bones and stuff like that. This guy is shredded. You know,
yeah,
as
Well,
and
his hair is growing.
yeah,
So
that's
yep, and he's also even
yeah.
crying. So
yeah. So the virus isn't feeding off of the host's body like it's a parasite, you know, it's just spreading and infecting. No, it's actually it's making a whole new species, you know.
yeah,
That's the word right there, species. Because here's what threw me. This is what kind of had me since the beginning of the movie was they're leaving Area 51. You know, Area 51's never known for zombies. They're known for extraterrestrial, exactly, aliens. You know what I mean? So that begs another question: are these actually not zombies, but actually aliens? You know, they're
aliens trying to save their own species.
Yes, exactly, because they have blue eyes. They're you know, like it was just a crazy thing going on.
This
there.
prequel anime that's popping up, it's gonna be insane. I can't wait to see that.
They have blue blood. The blue eyes is for which we didn't even get to yet.
Right,
that's for the government zombie androids that are monitoring the whole situation.
Yes.
The government plans, you know.
Wow. See, I didn't know all that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Where did you find that at? Is that the making of documentary?
No. I mean, it's kind of. I'm kind of inferring because some of the zombies are not like have natural like flesh and bones, kind of like Zeus and like the Queen. But I'm saying because like when Guzman, when that last zombie he kills with the AK, when he shot him in the face, and then you saw the face open up and you see a metal endoskeleton like a Terminator basically. You know, and some zombies have blue eyes. You know. And also Tanaka, when he was speaking to you know, when he was like get the call from Dave Bautista's character, he's like, okay, Dave Bautista's like, you know, I'll do the job. You know, he's speaking to army people. So there's a big whole government conspiracy revolving around the Vegas phenomenon. You know, so
I like it. I'm going to watch this a third time now, Carlos. Thank you.
I'm drawing lines together. If there are zombie androids in there, the government planted them because they're studying them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is gangster, dude.
Of course,
that is gangster.
You know what?
Be far off.
You know what though? That I can
the government, like my kind of like thought process is the government knows that if they just put a whole full-on assault on to Vegas, that you know they would easily be overrun. The soldiers would turn against them, be made into alphas by Zeus, and then like the zombie would spread. So they recruited Tanaka to be like, hey, look, you know. We know you have this casino. We know you're into some shady stuff, and you kind of working with us. Blah 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 blah. Can you just get some ragtag group of people, all right, to go in for some purpose, and you know you take one of your guys, sneak in, get us some zombie samples.
Anything. It doesn't matter what the reason is. Just get them in there.
Get them in there.
Get them in there.
And get your guy on the inside. Get us that zombie sample.
It makes so much. You know why it makes that makes so much sense? Because the money was so. You know, completely unimportant to the plot. Completely. Like,
but let's think about Tanaka's plan real quick. It doesn't make any sense in that stretch. Then
he wanted she was pregnant.
No, wait. Let me get my point done. Because think about this: if they wanted to get a blood sample for themselves, they could have just told the coyote, hey, you could, hey coyote, can you get some blood for our best friend, the zombie queen? Because they should know.
It's not that easy.
And she wouldn't have did it. She had a healthy fear of those things, man. She had a really healthy fear of those things. I don't think she would have went after it by herself. I think she would have had to have had like one of Tanaka's dudes there, like with what we saw in the film.
And we do. Mm-hmm.
And she didn't even want to be part of it then. So,
and we do know that the Coyote was working with Martin because they already had that kind of unspoken agreement. They were kind of acting like they just met each other during the beginning of the mission, but towards the end, when they tied up the Queen with the rope, the Coyote, without like saying, "What are you doing?" No, she was like, "Make it quick."
Unless part of the time loop, though.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I was gonna say to kind of like I guess to think about like what Jeff is saying. My thing is, do we know for sure they knew each other? Because when they got there, it like you said. Well, you're insinuating that they had to make believe they didn't know each other. My thing is he was thrown off by how much she knew. At least that's how I looked at it. So it would lead me to believe maybe she was known amongst the people who were sanctioned outside of Vegas, but I'm not so sure it was an overall knowledge as to she's the peyote that gets people in and out, and that she has this extensive knowledge of the zombies. That's the way I interpret it. But maybe
I mean, she doesn't have that extensive a knowledge. She never been past the the main like area just inside the gate, because she said she lets people in and they just go to the nearest casino, smash open a slot machine, and then come back. If they stay, they stay. She said she witnessed some people go into Olympus and never come out, or when they do come out, they come out as an alpha.
But she did have more knowledge than anybody else, because when they got in there, didn't nobody else know that there was a difference between the Shamblers and the Alphas? That was like news to pretty much everybody in the cast, except for maybe, I don't know the dude's name, the mercenary type guy that was looking for the blood vial.
Martin.
Yeah, Martin.
Well, here's the thing to consider. You only need to know 10% more than someone else to seem like an expert. So she's still, just because she knows a little bit more than the average person, doesn't mean she really knows a lot. She just knows more than the average person. That's why to us, she seemed like an expert, but really, she still might not know that much.
Right. Well, she knew enough to sacrifice homie and say, "This is what we got to do
to get some passage." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like a basic part of her job is to get in.
Right.
So yeah, like that's totally it. What I'm trying to say with like the whole government conspiracy is that Tanaka was recruited by the government to get this thing. The money was just a ploy. They just need that ragtag team, that has no affiliation to the government, nor the conspiracy, nor the even investigating the origin of the zombie virus and the whole Vegas phenomenon. And that's why Martin, when he got the head, he was going to lock everybody inside the corridors of the vault and let them die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's why you can't just have the military just get sent in there, because then they would have that knowledge and they would have that kind of mission, right. And you'd end up have to kill them anyway. There's more potential for a leak if you throw people off by sending them on this wild goose chase for their own, with their own interests of getting that money. You have that kind of safeguard.
Right. Go ahead, Zod.
No, go ahead. I
was just gonna say, like, it's one thing that I just appreciate about just the title alone is that, it's actually it comes back full circle to the actual mission, and I say that because you read Army of the Dead, and your first initial thought is, it's just because it's they're mobilized, that those group of zombies, they're mobilized.
No. What we learn is that the team is actually the dead. They're the Army of the Dead. The team is actually in this loop, and so they're the Army of the Dead because they keep going through this over and over again, and they are essentially just dead men, dead men walking. They're not alive. And
yeah, because if you think about it, like it really, if you see really how, like, I don't think we've seen the zombies actually kill people. Like, you might see the Shamblers do it, but those are the type of zombies that are just kind of like your generic zombies that not even the alphas can control. But the actual alphas, they're actually fighting and trying to fend them off. They're not.
Yeah.
And
they're not
the
trying
Shamblers
to-
decay. That's why they become all skin and bones and then dry up in the sun, and they only come back when it rains and they get
Yeah.
moisturized.
Yeah.
Get that moisturizer.
Yeah, they
You know
haven't
what I mean?
evolved. They're essentially just fodder, basically. And
Yeah.
Reese down here makes another great point. He says, "Have you also noticed that Zack uses the original version of Zombie by the Cranberries when Vander survives instead of a cover?" That's a good hint.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of songs in that movie that were just covers of the real song to be symbolic of the fakery of a certain
Right.
element
And
of the
for those
situation.
Right.
who don't know what the Cranberries, the zombie is, it is basically like a war protest song that is kind of like where the living are really the zombies. And
Yes.
in a sense, if you put that together with the time loop theory, in a sense, it's the zombies, it's the living, the Scott's team being the zombies, continuing the circle of war. Or as Zach tweeted out and Bander said, fighting and dying, fighting and dying, fighting and dying.
It was so peculiar that he said that he tweeted that. I'm like, the loop,
Yeah.
the time loop.
Is this so? Okay. Now, all right. So now that I think we all can agree, or we're all saying it. Like, okay, so this time loop thing, we're saying it's an official thing, right?
Yeah, that's
now-
what we
Now
agree
the
on.
question is, in my mind, is this time loop created by us humans, or is it created by the zombie or the aliens or whatever they are? Because I'm not even convinced there's zombies because
the
like you
alphas
said,
the alphas are the aliens, the zombies are what was that other word?
The Shamblers.
The
I would say the nuclear bomb probably has a big part to play in it, because in a lot of stories that involve like that type of themes, like and a nuke's involved, that a nuke has a part to play in the time loop.
Yeah,
But that'd probably be about the biggest that the human race plays in the time loop, I would guess. Personally.
All right, and with that, Johnny, man, we got to get your initial thoughts on Army of the Dead, because we got everybody else on the panel to tell what their initial thoughts were. So before we resume this excellent line of conversation, what were your initial thoughts, brother?
Oh, I think the movie's super strength is with the characters. I think it had a great padded cast. I really liked Guzman. I liked Dieter, and I really, really liked just pretty much everybody. There's only one thing that completely, really super pissed me off about this film, and it kind of really got to me, and that was the lack of demo saw gore, because like they built it up, they showed it in all these scenes, like there's this huge demo saw, we're going to bring it in, we're going to cut, and like the blonde girl cuts through one wall with it, and that's it?
Well,
We got to see some cool gore at the beginning, but aside from that, like, why even bother putting a badass demolition saw in the damn movie if you're not going to just gore the fuck up with it?
That was Zack Snyder subverting your expectations, Johnny.
That is the one thing that got to me. But aside from that, it was good. It was really cool, and I just like that it's a quandary. It's a mystery. You don't like. We're all just sitting here talking about what we think it means, which I think is the sign of a good film nowadays, because everything's been done. Like Jeff said, like zombie films, they are tried and tested, and if you like them, you like them, but you're not going to see anything new in them too often. But this one, I think this one kind of kicked the door open to where you can do metaphysical things with them. Like we're talking about maybe time paradoxes being a part of this, and that's groovy. It's got me super excited for this prequel anime. I can't wait to see what that's going to be like. I can't wait to see what that's going to about. I want to see if it's about time traveling aliens or what the hell it's about. You know what I mean? I am really excited about.
And doesn't this get you more intrigued about the Codebreaker prequel?
Hell yeah!
We're at the point now where it's just kind of like this. There's so much that was built in this film that can be spread across multiple different films and animes, all kinds of things. I mean, this is incredible. And, to that point, Zeno says here, during an interview with Zack Snyder on Polygon, Zack asked the interviewer, "Did you notice the robot zombies?"
I have to rewatch that.
Dude, I know it's a ton.
I'm really curious. I'm really curious.
I know two definitely. There's one zombie that explicitly has glowing blue eyes. One alpha when
I remember
Zeus,
him definitely
when Zeus is walking with the corpse of the queen, the headless corpse of the queen, when he's walking to the pool. There's a zombie with explicitly blue eyes. Second one, which is the most explicit, is when Guzman is about to die. I think if I remember the time correctly, it's about 1 hour 55 minutes and 20 or 30 seconds. Because I remember typing this in a comment in one of these streams. Guzman shoots a zombie in the face, and you could see face like wide open. You could see a metal endoskeleton with glowing blue eyes.
Yep, and really for that,
I could literally like pull it up and then I'll share that tab if you guys are very
speaking of the robot zombies, really for that instance, the robot zombies would have to have been made before or somehow during it. But then really I think we also need to talk about Dieter real quick, because he said something that really catches my eye at the beginning of the movie, where he's talking about the vault, and he said that it's a portal to another realm. So really to me,
I got it.
And really, I think what that was probably referring to was probably the ending, because someone actually pointed this out, where someone on Twitter was breaking down the fight scene between Zeus and Vander. He actually showed us all the shots where he could have possibly been bitten, and he actually pointed out that one fight scene with them had no cuts in it. So, and he actually came to the conclusion that Vander wasn't bit. So my thing is, what if the Vander we see at the end of the movie isn't our Vander? What if it's a Vander from a different universe?
Oh, it's very possible.
I get what you're saying, because you're saying pretty much the vault. It's all about the vault. The vault is like the dimensional
Right.
gateway or the portal to in and out of the other dimension where the crazy
that's
stuff
what Dieter said. Dieter was this is a gateway to
that. Actually makes
rebirth.
sense. That actually makes perfect sense, especially when you line it up with where they were seeing the bones and the skeletons of the other versions of themselves that had been through it before.
Right, because it's funny. It's actually funny because I was just thinking about that scene. I'm like, if we have to think about this, like, did they really die there, or were they or were they placed there? You know what I mean? Because
I have that.
Yeah, because I'm like, when you look at even,
I don't know if you see that.
Let's see.
This is a little snippet. I didn't want to open the Netflix tab. I don't know how it would work, but if you look there explicitly, you could see, if I could just Control+, that is
you
not.
Can see the blue. Yeah, that's almost
skeleton with glowing eyes.
That's like Terminator type stuff.
I don't know exactly how to move.
Did they say how long of a time period it was between the first breakout and when the heist happens? Like, how long of a window would they have had to slip robots into the hot zone?
Well, between the initial quarantine and then the heist, it was. I think they said it was a few years, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, a few years.
That's crazy.
But that's just the most explicit example of a zombie robot there. So my guess is that is that zombie robot is not. It's not I would say like I like saying android because that's like I guess the actual term to use because it's living tissue on top of a metal endoskeleton. Anything different would be something different, like it's not a cyborg. Cyborgs are humans with cybernetic enhancements.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it's a synthetic being, so yeah, it's an android.
Yeah, but I don't think they have the zombie virus within them. They're just meant to deceive them. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So that's why they would need someone like Martin to go in and get that vial and get
I
a vial of
completely
blood.
missed that the 2 times I watched it. You just blew my mind with the damn robot zombies, though, Carlos. Like, I'm literally watching it.
And if you know,
you have to literally watch it again. And
yeah, straight up.
That's all that. You know,
it was a little.
Hey, what's up,
blurry,
Cylon Scotty? He says, "Great conversation. Lots here that had not occurred to me before." Scotty, this is why we do these kinds of streams, man. We get the experts on a live stream and we break it all down, and that's where it becomes even more fun. And now each and every one of us realizes we have to go and we got to watch this movie all over again.
Yep.
Multiple more times.
And really, like, that's really kind of like the thing that a lot of people really don't realize. Like, when people say that, like, really, I've actually never been this invested in a zombie movie, like, ever. Like, I've been like,
exactly.
Okay, because really, like, it's kind of like what Zack said in a Variety interview, where he said something about the Marvel movies where they want to make movies something that you can be entertained with, and something that you can just have fun with, while really for his movies he says it's something that he wants his movies to basically have sex with you so that you can keep coming back to it to find out more and more stuff.
Yeah, that's like the greatest. That's like the greatest way to describe it, man. Wow.
Yeah. Well, look at Batman v Superman. We're still finding new things about that movie, and it's
I'd like to say
5 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead,
Sorry,
Carlos.
I think he froze.
I think he froze.
Carlos is stuck in a time loop.
Yeah, he's stuck in the time loop. Speaking of the time loop, here we have someone who's skeptical about the time loop. Pretty sure the time loop is not an official thing. I don't know. I'm convinced the time loop is real.
Raven, you are technically right on that. We'll have to wait for the prequels to come out.
Yeah, he says, I think it was a fun addition to make you think, but I don't think there's a time loop. I don't know. I'm on board with the time loop, though.
Yeah,
I think it's totally Zack Snyder. It makes total sense.
Because that completely came out of nowhere, and it really, with Zack saying fighting and dying 3 times, like, I think he knows that a lot of people are paying attention to that tirade.
That would also mean fighting and dying. That's 3 deaths. So this is the 4th iteration, like I said, with the key theory.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Because
wow, the 4th. They're literally on the 4th iteration. That makes that's mind blowing.
And this is actually something that I found out while I was watching Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that there'll have to be a 5th one?
Wait, because this is when Dieter actually shot the bride, and he says, I shot it 3 times. And in the movie, he actually did shoot it 3 times, but then Vander actually kind of corrected him and said, no, you shot him 4 times. So I'm like, wait, hold up, what was that?
Yeah, I think, dude, I once I heard that theory, I heard that theory earlier, Jeff. I really do think it's Vander Groundhog Day. He knew everything. He got C4 and put it on the thing before anybody asked. He went into the elevator, didn't even talk to anybody, and got zombies to actually conduct to activate the traps.
Right, like where did he get the zombie?
The only kind of learning that he did was he was microwaving the hand.
Yeah, and he was like so chill about it too when he went to get the zombie.
Microwaving the hand was so funny.
Yeah, he was like taking his time.
This was really something that was really suspicious. Like it was the way that he was walking. Like you would when he's walking, he went to get the zombies. He's like, okay, I know what to do. Hold on 1 second, because it's like a routine thing to him.
So he exists outside of the loop and just keeps reliving it, while everyone else is not aware that they're reliving it. Basically.
So is he going to have to? He's going to have to do it again. That's the point of the end of the film. Then, pretty much, is what we got out of him being dead.
Yeah, because he said it. Because at the end of the movie, he said it in the sense of like, oh man, here we go again.
And the way that Tanaka was bummed out when he was looking at the bomb site, it almost looked like he figured everything had failed. So like, yeah, I guess that really means that, it's one more trip around for these poor assholes, man.
Yeah,
I would actually like if they just make the same film over again with a different change of events. Like I would actually probably sit through that too. Like, go ahead.
There is BioShock Infinite actually does play around with the multiverse theory of constants and variables, kind of like, and what I mean by that is like, for those who haven't played BioShock Infinite, it's kind of like this. There's always a man, there's always a lighthouse, there's always a city. And there's always something similar, yet different. Like for the zombie, like for Army of the Dead, let's say the sequel does come out, there might be a different team, but there's always a Vander, or there's always a Zeus, and there's always a invasion or outbreak.
Well, I don't think it's a different team. The skeletons that were in the vault, in the corridor of the vault, they were wearing the exact same clothes. You know what I mean? They were blueprints at the exact same table. You know what I mean? So I think it's the same team.
Yeah,
and I do think
it just keeps reliving. That keeps reliving, like they're all in some sort of hell or purgatory where they have to keep reliving the events over and over again until they get them right. Yeah. But they're not aware that they're doing it. But Vander is.
But the thing is, what about the alien zombies, whatever you want to call them for now? What about those side of things? Because I've noticed a lot of people are talking about
the zombies are the cause of all this. They're controlling everything.
No, I think there's actually something different going on. Like maybe they're all part of some big experiment, like both the aliens and the humans, and maybe that's kind of like a simulation reboot or time loop or something like that. Maybe
so like like simulation theory. Because simulation theory you live over and over again. You just keep reliving your life.
Which makes sense. So here's the funny part. Like, and this is what I love about our conversation right now is that there's so many threads, so many things that tie into this. It's hard to even pinpoint it on one thing, you know. And what's funny about all this is that it could all be right. It could all be right, or it could just be one that's right. But it's funny to me because it's like there's so many elements that leave you to think, well, time loop has to be for a certain thing, right? Because, and here's what I'm trying to get at is, you know, this is supposed to be a zombie film, but it's really not a zombie film, right?
Right.
No. You have elements that, for instance, as Carlos pointed out, the robots, which give you, it's almost like Zack, and this is what I mean, Zack is a genius, dude, because he's like, it's almost like, I'm going to add this here, I'm going to add this here, I'm going to add this here. all these elements that I'm pulling from
Elements, yes.
all these elements that I'm pulling from have one thing in common, and here's what I'm trying to get at, and that's time loop, right? Because when we're talking about androids, robots, we're talking Terminator, which also has a time loop. When we're talking about aliens and that come from somewhere else to create a new society, we're talking Edge of Tomorrow, which also has time loop. And then when we're talking about what is it?
Groundhog Day.
I
thought
the Chinese guy, or the Japanese guy. I'm sorry,
Tanaka.
Tanaka. When we're talking about there being an architect to all this,
the puppet master,
which is also time loop. So all these elements he's putting together, and there's, like I said, there's one thing in common: time loop. But it's like either one could be right, or they could all be right.
Oh, that's actually pretty interesting. Now, I just remembered this. I was actually looking up Vander's name, and Vander's full name, if you actually look it up, is actually named after a architect. So, did he create the simulation time loop?
I mean,
because if you really think about it, he seems very self-aware about it. So maybe he was the architect of this time loop.
I mean, I don't
know it himself each time.
I like that Vega brought up Edge of Tomorrow, which is based off of a book I really like called All You Need Is Kill, which is really neat because the aliens themselves somehow made this kind of actual complete computer server, which caused the entire loop to keep happening. And I wonder if we're going to, the deeper we get, if we're going to actually get something like that caused by like the baby and the nuclear bomb and Zeus. That would be really a neat idea to have like this whole like trifecta of things that caused this whole out of whack scenario, just like out of that genius book. But yeah, this has surpassed zombie horror. I wouldn't call this film it either. It is definitely in the realm of high concept fantasy and sci-fi. High concept.
And that's really the thing. And that's really the funny thing about this. Like, Army of the Dead was first promoted as a zombie heist movie, because that's what Zack said. It's a zombie heist movie. But then, in a matter of days, it became this sci-fi thing.
Well, the greatest thing about it is if you want to watch it as a zombie heist film, you can absolutely do that, and it's a phenomenal one. It's a very, very fun zombie heist movie. Yeah. But like, if you want to listen to somebody like Juan Carlos just completely crack your brain open with all the weird shit he's taught me tonight about the film that I thought I saw and understood, like, yeah, there's a journey to take with this film too. You know what I mean? And I appreciate this kid even more tonight than I've loved him since I met him. But wow, dude, you really opened my eyes to this shit tonight, bro. Like, wow.
And Chi-Town Venom right here, he says, the thing I don't get is why is Martin going in there to get a blood sample of the alpha zombies when the government already had a zombie robot in the herd to begin with? That's a good point.
Well, you have to analyze the sample of the blood, though. I mean, they created something that kind of looks like that can fool the zombies, but they might want to study the blood of the alpha.
Well, if you
it's deception. You know what I mean?
I think it's more like this. Think about it like this. You have a zombie that's right next to the alpha zombie. Let's say Zeus, since he's on the top of my mind. So hypothetically, if that robot zombie were to kill Zeus right in front of him, if that robot zombie was to kill Zeus right in front of them, that robot zombie would have gotten killed on the spot.
Yeah, be ripped to shreds.
And so then the sample wouldn't have been delivered to him.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we don't know how high tech these robots are. Like, you would need to either. We don't know, like, if you would have to program it to be able to, because they wouldn't have to kill Zeus. I think it would just need to take a vial of its blood. I mean, but at the same time, I think maybe they just programmed it, and the thing legitimately thinks that it is one of the zombies. It thinks it's an alpha. It has no other programming besides to just act like them.
Right.
Yeah, which
I mean-
I don't see why not. I mean, we will have to get into the nitty gritty of it, but that would be my thing, is they just programmed it to keep tracks on it, like Carlos said.
Right. No, exactly. I mean, the truth of the matter is that these, okay, zombie aliens, whatever they are, what's clear is that they are smart. You know, they're not just some sort of dumb Walking Dead zombies. Like, no, these are some very intellectual creatures.
Very emotional.
Species.
Reese's comment here actually makes a lot more sense to what we're talking about. Actually, maybe Martin was going to meet with one of these robots to get the blood, and he decided to get greedy and try to take the head, and that's where everything got fucked for this iteration of the time loop. You know what I mean?
I'm leaning more towards the fact that, like you said, they're programmed in a certain way, and I feel like if they were to like do something out of their program where all of a sudden they're not acting like zombies, I just feel like the minute Zeus feels something shady, they're not going anywhere. Like, we're destroying it before it gets anywhere. Because if there's one thing clear, and they even make it clear in the movie, is that I think it was Greta who said, you guys think this is their prison. Like, if they can't get out of here, they're choosing to stay here. This is their territory.
Kingdom.
This is their kingdom. So
again, also if you think. Yeah, and also it makes sense if you consider what Zach called it also makes sense in this way, where Zach said that the zombies kind of had their own wolf pack thing, and it's kind of like if you leave the pack, you might be killed. You're a deserter.
I got something just to. Like, I know, I usually just draw like points in my brain and I just tie them together like on the spot. And this might not be exactly what Zach meant for that, but when Zeus, in a lot of the shots, he's holding his rebar, which is kind of like symbolic of Zeus's thunderbolt, but he's holding the rebar with a head on top of it. You know what I mean? And they need, and the government needs an alpha zombie to be the alpha zombie blood to be like for their own devices. Like so that head on the top of his staff could literally be a zombie android that tried to take the blood, and they need it right from the source, which is Zeus.
That makes sense.
And Zeus makes perfect sense.
And Zeus was like, I'm not having none of that. We'll rip your head off. All right, this is a lesson for you guys.
Dude, I am glad you said that, because this whole time I'm thinking,
because I was wondering,
whose head is that?
That's what I'm wondering. They don't kill their own kind. You know what I mean? They don't kill their own kind. They have honor, and they have a system.
It's like once you're in, it's like you're indoctrinated, unless you're one of the, like the fodder zombies that just do whatever. But like that core group of alphas that exist, those are the ones that, it's like once you're in, it's like you're protected. They're not going to kill you.
Right.
So.
That's actually a good question.
So that head on that rebar could definitely be a deviant. You know what I mean?
And Cylon Scotty asks a good question here. He says, "But what's the blue glowing baby thing that Alpha pulls out of the Queen's corpse?"
That was the child. That's what I'm thinking might be the thing that might break the loop altogether if it gets born. And I think that is going to be the crux of the entire, I think, universe going forward, is that these zombies do reproduce. And I think as soon as that first one, especially Zeus's baby, is born, we're going to catch a whole nother level of shit. You know what I mean? The world has never seen before, you know what I mean, with these creatures. I mean, who knows what it'll be capable of when it's born.
Because we saw a breakdancing zombie dodging a blade from Batista.
That was so cool too.
Capriola, man. I'm like,
the Capoeira zombie was badass, dude.
You know what I was thinking, because we were drawing like the Edge of Tomorrow parallels, was that the loop resets when the alpha dies in Edge of Tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to take over the world, and that's kind of like a fail-safe mechanism for them. Yeah. And for this, we know that aliens have been in contact with humans in some sort of way, or they've been observing them and affecting them in some kind of form because they were hovering over Area 51 in the beginning of the movie. You know, the two lights that just zipped off. And like, if you think about like theoretical science and stuff like that, like, oh, how can such a thing break the laws of physics? That means that these things, if they're breaking the laws of physics, you know, breaking the sound barrier without making any sound or whatnot, or traveling beyond the speed of light, then they have some kind of way to manipulate space-time. You know what I mean? So it isn't far-fetched to believe that these aliens have time-bending technology. So my kind of speculation way, my kind of speculation way is that like they're probably coming from a dying planet. These two spaceships that were seen over Area 51 are probably one of the last ones, and this was their way of trying to reproduce and ensure the livelihood of their species. You know what I mean? So like, okay, we got to find some viable host. What kind of planet has viable hosts that we could interbreed with? And they're like, well, we got this planet called Earth, and they got some humans there, and they look like some viable subjects. You know what I mean? And to ensure that doesn't fail, because they have basically nobody left in their alien race, they set up a time loop. You know what I mean? So that every time that the zombies fail to reproduce, the time loop starts again. So that's how it would tie into the baby.
Wow.
So that's kind of my roundabout way of seeing it, my theoretical way of seeing it. You know, I love seeing movies this way. You know what I mean? I love movies that make you think. And I know
a pretty interesting theory with
Carlos.
This is actually a pretty interesting theory with the nuke, because I think the nuke itself is kind of like a new timeline, or really another time loop starting over, where
it's the catalyst of the restart. Yeah, it's what hits it.
No, because really,
I don't know. I mean,
Carlos, I think we actually got our answer with this, because remember in that news article where they were talking about the nuke for the first time, and we saw one of the people saying like, "Oh, we do this all the time. What's so different about this?" So maybe with them nuking Nevada, and them acknowledging that they nuke it so many times, maybe that's the nuke resetting the timeline.
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but like,
the only reason I wouldn't say it's the nuke thing, just because there's things that happen after the bombing. Clearly, you know what I mean?
Like, it's not like nuke, and then like once the nuke is simmering down, fade to black credits. You know what I mean? Right, exactly. It's like Vander going onto the plane, chilling for a few hours, gonna dig into some lobster and drink some champagne, and then he goes to the bathroom. Right. Like, so if the nuke was the catalyst, then it would probably happen either when the nuke hits or a few after, some time after the nuke hits. But a few hours, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. But what I wanted to say with alien technology is that if they can break reality by going faster than light, breaking the sound barrier and doing impossible maneuvers with their spaceships, then they can't have technology, which is like theoretical technology that sometimes you hear theoretical scientists say that bends space-time and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like you see like the idea of like a wormhole. It's like, oh, this is space. It's like a piece of paper, and instead, okay, we need to travel from this point to this point. Instead of actually going along the side of the paper, we just fold the paper and then connect the 2 points together. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm saying there's a possibility that the time loop doesn't exist with the nuke. It exists with the alien tech. And the aliens are probably initiating the time loop to ensure the prolonging and procreation of their new species that they're going to live on through, which is the zombie human.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Van panicked at the end, because if it was just a nuke and all of a sudden the nuke didn't reset time, I think Van would have been a lot more panicked when he was becoming a zombie. But he was a lot more like, oh shit, I spilled a drink, not oh shit, I'm gonna die. Because the time loop was gonna reset soon. So I think you're right. I think something does happen after.
So we've basically established that Vander is aware that the time loop is going to reset.
Yeah, I
That
feel like
that he failed, that they failed at whatever they were meant to do at the end, and it's just another. And so the time on the plane is just a break before the time loop starts over again.
He's the
I mean,
Neo.
keep in mind, we didn't see the previous 3 iterations. Just like in Edge of Tomorrow, the only reason why the time loop even happened in the first place with Tom Cruise at the center of it is because he got the blood of the Alpha poured onto him, and then he became the new Alpha, and then that Alpha that died in the first iteration never existed anymore. You know what I mean? And Tom Cruise took that place. So we don't know what happened in the first iteration, but something probably happened to Vander that made him immune to having his whole existence, repeated, and that he could actually remember what happens before.
Well, this is why I say that this has Matrix-like vibes, because in the end of the day, this is how I look at it. Vander would be Neo in this concept.
Yeah,
it's always the one, in every I guess reboot. And then you have Dave and Maria. They're like Morpheus and what's the chick?
Trinity.
Trinity. You know what I mean?
But yeah, and this is actually something interesting too. Like there was something seems off when Vander is actually drops his weapon to actually go fisticuffs with Zeus, kind of like the Matrix versus with the Matrix and Neo and the Mr. Anderson thing. It seems like really this goes to the visual storytelling, where at first I thought it was just Vander being crazy, but then on a rewatch of it, I see, if you actually look very closely, Zeus actually gives a look like it's actually personal to him too. And Zack actually said for the sequel, he knows how it goes down. And Amari, hopefully I pronounced that first name right, Amari actually said that he's actually really excited if a sequel is made. So maybe we will get to understand more in the sequel about who Vander is and why he's so aware of the position he's in, because once again, really, you wouldn't go head up with a zombie unless it's personal to you. And really,
you had some knowledge of what you're doing. You know what I mean? He could have just tried to shoot the zombie, try to shoot Zeus, but he knows. But he probably witnessed in previous iterations that Zeus kind of has some honor. You know what I mean? And maybe this time, if we go fisticuffs, maybe I'll have a chance of maybe not beating him, but surviving to live and fight another day. You know what I mean?
Right. And really, this one, once again, I said this at the beginning, where I noticed that young Zeus in the first 15 minutes, he actually does look a lot like he actually does look a lot like Vander. Young Zeus actually, he does look like Vander, so maybe there actually is some kind of bond between them that we don't know yet.
You know what the only thing that I would say to that is that well, one, you kind of don't see the tattoos on. I the skin could probably fall off, or kind of something could happen where you don't see tattoos for zombie Zeus. But the only thing I would say is that would make the time loop infinite. Then that would make it recursive, because there is something from the future that is in the past and affecting the past. You know what I mean? It's kind of like having John Connor be the son of Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese, when Kyle Reese is someone from the future, Yeah. So it's it's an infinite loop. Then because there's no beginning, because there has to be a time where John Connor is not the the son of Kyle Reese.
Right.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
What's interesting about what you're saying right now, though, is what this person's saying here, right? Like,
right. Baby girl makes a great point. Says Vander also has the Omega symbol on his arm, so technically that means it ends with him because you got the Omega.
Exactly. Not exactly.
Alpha and Omega.
No, wait.
And end,
actually,
right? The wordplay is sick when you think about it.
No, actually, that's not exactly what it means. Because think about it like this. The Omega symbol is the last letter of the Greek alphabet. So then, after the alphabet is done, what do? You restart it. So I think then the Omega is going to be, he is going to bite the alpha, and the cycle is going to continue.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, I think I'm saying the cycle will continue, and it does end with Vander because he is the Omega, and Zeus is the Alpha. But I'm saying if they're one and the same, that would mean that concurrently and simultaneously, for infinite times, the future is affecting the past. You know what I mean? So it's literally a circle. It's not like a line that is keep on restarting and branching off to a new timeline with slightly different outcomes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you can't, if Vander becomes a zombie and then gets transported into the past, it's like, then how can, what is the first iteration where the zombie virus even starts? Does it not start with Zeus then? Right. You know what I mean? Right. So
really, that's the question.
So like I said, I really do think it's 4 iterations. The movie that we witnessed is the 4th iteration. Yeah. So
AC says the robot zombies are alien controlled, not the government.
That's neat. Yeah, that's a cool idea too.
That could happen.
Which would make more sense to the whole question about the blood. But that
would explain,
and why nobody else knew that they were there. I mean, like Tanaka didn't seem to. Or like you would have think him and Martin would have known a little something about it, would have said something about it. There would have been a little hint to it somewhere in the film. But no, you actually had to look for it like Juan Carlos did and be a little movie detective and stuff. So
I think Juan Carlos. You say Juan.
Juan Carlos.
No, it's Juan. It's Juan. My name's not Juan.
No, I'm sorry. Cool play on words though, that's why you do call yourself the Juan Carlos because your name's Juan Carlos.
No, it's not. Well,
that's what I thought it was. That's why
my name is
that. My bad.
No, that's okay. It's okay. My name is Carlos Daniel. My middle name is Danny. But no, I named it because I just hear of that one dude. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, don't be that one dude. Or there's him, and then there's that one. So
there's that one Carlos.
So there could be a million Carloses in the world, but I'm that one.
Right.
So
Big Body Snatcher says if there is a time loop, the nuclear explosion could be responsible for it, with the very first nuclear missile kicking off the loop.
We kind of debunked that, though.
All this is just speculation and conjecture and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's awesome to have. This is what I live for. This is why
this is what it's all about. This is why I
like going to the movies.
This is why we do these kinds of shows.
Zack's movies encourage this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you look to and then when you hear of watching WandaVision or something, and you hear of all these theories and all these tie-ins and all these things you have, and then you hear the directors at the end saying, "I didn't think the fans would be into this so much." I didn't know the fans would tie in Mephisto and would tie in Doctor Strange and stuff like that.
Mad Matt Vids asked this question. What's up, Mad Matt? He says, one of the cyborg zombies had glowing blue eyes. I don't understand why Zeus would allow that to be around given his intelligence.
Well, if they're only there for observance, maybe he just doesn't care. If they're just studying. Think about when you study a species. We always
but it also goes back to what Carlos was saying about on the staff of Zeus could have been the head of one of the robots, which again.
Maybe he was using them to learn about whoever was sending them in too. Maybe he was playing the double game. Maybe he was playing the long game of chess.
There's what's man, I'm trying to think. There was this movie man, all I know is that the idea, the concept is you know, I let them watch me so they can fear me even more. Like I have nothing to be afraid of. Kind of idea.
It sounds familiar, but I'm not too sure what
but
movie that was.
I know, like I know I've seen it somewhere, and it was like something about along the lines like, oh, why are you telling them what we're gonna do? It's like, because I want them to know, like it's something like that. I forgot what it was. But I feel like it would be the same concept here. It's like it's just Zeus saying like, I'm not afraid. They can watch me all they want. Matter of fact, let them watch me so they can fear me even more. Or honestly, that theory of the robot zombies actually being part of the alien race, also another great theory.
Or a different alien race. Who knows? Who says there's just got to be one?
Oh my God! Yeah, imagine you're introducing a second alien race into the mix.
Well, that would make more sense. They still
He created them himself.
But like, why would the?
You think Zeus made the? You think Zeus made the cyborg, the androids? That'd be cool too.
Well, think about it. Zeus was smart enough to make himself a helmet. So
You're right.
maybe,
I don't know about a full-fledged robot, but Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
Why would you want what would be the point of Zeus having like robots or cyborgs? Like the zombies without the robot kick ass on their own. He doesn't need no cyborgs taking him on.
That could have so many questions in a zombie movie with no series.
Yeah, well, I'll say this: if it was the writer of WandaVision, they would probably. I don't even imagine how these theories would pay off after Ralph Bollner.
well, okay, genius panel. Where were they taking Zeus before the accident?
In an interview, I heard I heard that Zach was saying if you look on the side of the cargo container, there's some like Arabic writing. So it was probably the U.S. government sending a zombie their only zombie to like a Middle Eastern country. He said Iran or something.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising either.
I could look again. I got Netflix right here, but I think he said it was like Arabic text.
So this is what I was trying to get at. Like, so this is what I mean. Like when I say that the title itself of this movie, it hits on so many levels. You know what I mean? Because the apart from the fact that so obviously Zeus has his little empire of zombies, whatever. So it's his army, whatever, army of the dead. Like that's the initial thought. Then, we get to the theories of like how we're saying like, well, or it's the squad itself. They're just, they're technically the dead themselves because they're just reliving this stuff, right? Then there's that. And then there's the concept of obviously the what Martin was saying why they needed the blood. And that's because the government wants their own army of the dead. And it makes sense if that what you're saying is true, Carlos, where it's like they were technically probably going to use Zeus to do something in the Middle East, and that plan foiled on them when that accident happened in Vegas. So I guess that would make sense to that.
So really, either two things were to happen at that, if that were the case. One, they would have sent Zeus into the Middle East to do kind of like a test run,
right?
Where to do two types of test runs. The first one, which is probably most likely, is test which is Zeus is kind of like the test for a new weapon for the U.S. So that then they could use, because then think about this, like you could have a nuke to destroy everything, but to destroy all of the soldiers. But at the same time, you're also destroying the environment as well. So what if the U.S. was going to send Zeus to the Middle East to really try to defeat the Middle Eastern army without ruining the environment?
Right, being like a living neutron bomb type thing.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be worse? Because the plague would still spread then, because then those
Well, what if what it is what he's okay? Maybe unless this is the way I understand what you're saying, Jeff. What you're saying is we can't look like bad guys and just bomb the place. So let's give a reason to why we have to bomb the place.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we have this guy running around infecting people, oh hey, everybody over there is infected. Let's go ahead and bomb the place.
Wow. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Well, it would be like any government to do that.
Yeah, I can't like I see a little something, but that dream lens that Zach loves is messing me up. I can't really see anything on the container, so I'm gonna put that in the plausible section. It's not confirmed, but I think I remember hearing him Zach say something like that in an interview. So with the container writing, but yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Okay. And Mad Vid says, I swear it's the Alpha Omega thing. Beginning and end starts with Zeus and has to end with Van. I think that's the breaking of the loop, given we see his dead corpse in the vault. Had to still be human.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that there's man. Whew,
what if
check out AC's theory here. Y'all are wrong. This is just the dream of Batista, and in the sequel he will wake up.
Oh God, I hope not.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Still be wrestling.
What if it's Vander waking up? What if it's Vander waking up, and that adds more to the time loop theory where he's self-aware?
That was what I was saying.
What if Vander's the baby?
What if
Vander's the baby?
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Because technically she's the only one who lives. You know, everyone else dies. Kate's the only one to survive.
Well, not necessarily. Zach kind of hinted that Dieter and Coyote could be alive because we don't see them die.
True. Yeah.
Yep.
True.
Yep. Movie magic, movie rules.
He kept on always saying that he was like,
if we don't see him die on screen, they can always be brought back.
She got impaled to a building pretty hard though. I don't know if the Coyote lived, man. Like that's gonna be hard to survive from.
Maybe she had super strength.
Maybe she
was gangster though, man. She still just dropped that head off the building. I was like, that's gangster, man. That's how you do it, girl. I was just like proud of her when she did that.
Yes. Yes. And Cylon Scotty says, thanks for answering so many questions here, fellas. Great panel. This is great. Thank you, Cylon Scotty. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun.
Coyote is still alive, but not in the way we think. Because in the movie, I'm pretty sure that
I could answer that.
Zeus actually bit Coyote.
She could be the new queen, basically, is what you're thinking, Jeff?
That's what we were. That's what I was thinking the first time I watched it.
Like, because it's kind of like you took my queen, now I'm going to take you kind of thing.
Yeah.
But why would Zeus want to give her the honor? Like, you took my queen, so I'm going to give you the honor of being the new queen, an alpha. If I were Zeus,
I'm going to take what makes you human, kind of thing.
Pretty cruel thing to do because she was so opposed to him and his people. I think that it's an actual pretty disgusting punishment, I would say, for her. You know what I mean?
It's also like, I guess it's like the X factor. You know, it's like what's that? You know, little thing that I'm looking for, you know. I like Zeus kind of found it in Vander. He was like, "Oh, you're different from all the other humans that I've encountered before. I'm gonna actually fight. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you honorably. Let me take off my helmet. Let me take off my cape. You know." And I'm like, let's go to town. You know what I mean? So Zeus could have literally just like ripped his head up over, just take the jaw, just cracked his head open like in The Boys, you know, Black Noir, you know, but he didn't. So
he didn't.
So Zeus probably sees something like that within both of them. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and just to answer the previous question, was why didn't Tanaka give the safe code? Yes, Tanaka did own the casino, and he did get the insurance money, like he said. So all the money in the vault was insured, and he already reaped the benefit of that. But just like a CEO doesn't know the combination to one of his properties, you know, to a vault one of the properties. Tanaka probably didn't know the same thing.
And
you know,
they change combinations like 3 times a day too.
Yeah, it's random. So probably there was like an electronic system that was in place that would kind of like streamline it.
Dieter actually said this actually in the movie that it was a randomizer that was going on. So really, I don't think even he could have known the code since it was a randomizer.
And he only had a limited number of attempts before the lock would completely be locked forever. You know what I mean? And it was in manual mode, so he had to use each of the 4 dials. So, like, I know a lot of people ask this question, but you know, it could be answered. You know, it's a random code every time. The CEO doesn't know the combination to a vault in one of his properties. You know what I mean? He has people for that.
And they change several times a day. Yeah. I mean.
So here's another question. It doesn't make any sense. Why didn't they take the blood sample when they first caught him?
Because he was scary.
When they first had Zeus, I mean, I don't entirely know. Like Ubergen Vault, before when they first had him, you know what I mean? We don't know the kind of transformation process. And as we see, it's pretty fast. So he probably got infected, and then the second he got infected, he started just tearing up the place. You know what I mean?
That's kind of like
reached in and he grabbed his arm and pulled him, kind of like Big Gorilla, if they grab your arm and they just pull you against the cage and you're banging against the cage while they pull your arm.
Yeah, they just rip your arm off. You know what I mean? So he was probably tearing through Area 51 until they finally found a way to kind of maneuver him into a vault and just sealed it shut. You know what I mean?
That's a good question, actually, Rez. What if Vander is also one of the experiments similar to Zeus, and Vander escaped first?
I'm not sure. I mean, he seemed pretty surprised by it. He didn't seem surprised by that bite, but he did seem like he's like, here we go again. I guess every time the time loop ends, it ends with him getting bit. But
maybe
the goal for him is not to get bit. So maybe getting bit is the catalyst.
Yeah, I feel like we need a full-on Vander movie with it, because
and if the time loop is broken, I seriously hope that we get zombie Vander. You know, they like Blade. That's what I know people said on other channels, where Vander he has a PhD in philosophy. He's a very smart guy, a veteran, and he's a very nice guy helping the elderly and stuff. So this guy could be even greater than Zeus. We know that the zombie virus doesn't degenerate; it enhances you. So I think Vander is going to be full-fledged zombie, but also full-fledged human. All could speak, could reason, has all of his intelligence, and then some. So I really do think that's what's going to happen.
Or he might be from a different alien race, and he's been here all along, and he knows about the other ones, the parasite aliens, and he's somehow the only guy that's kind of equipped to fight him, even though he never planned to in his happy little life on Earth. But he sure does buckle down, because at the beginning of the film, we did get some pretty decent demo saw gore with him at the beginning. So yeah, I just hope if we do see Vander more, I really hope he uses his saw a lot more, because
no, exactly.
When he gets zombie strength, he can use it one-handed and have another thing in his other hand.
Yeah, 2 of them, man, just double-handing him, man. Hell yeah.
Or how about Reese saying here, or he always starts with the bite and only transforms when Zeus dies. So that could make sense for him to become the new Zeus. Or because remember what Jeffrey was saying earlier about how Zeus kind of looks like a young Vander.
Mm-hmm. Young Zeus looks like him because he has the short hair.
Yeah, so could it be that maybe Vander becomes the new Zeus when Zeus dies?
Look, all we know for sure, and this is the most likely theory, is that somehow with this time loop theory, that Vander is the key to it all.
And Vander's bite is different from so many other people's bites. Just like the guy that was Shades and Luke Cage. His name is something Cummings. And it's kind of weird because he's a very creepy dude. So very apt name. But his transformation happened like that. You know what I mean? But
well, I think Zach said that it infects everyone different. Like, look at COVID. You know, if you get infected, some people show symptoms right away, while other people don't show symptoms at all. So
Yeah.
the zombie.
Some people don't get sick at all from it.
Yes, but you know, from what we see in the movie and the examples that we get, Vander is a very extraordinary case because he's been walking through the desert for who knows how long, been locked in that vault for who knows how long before the hinges got rusty or whatever from all the nuclear fallout. You know what I mean? Taking the car, going to the airport, talking to the hostess, bribing her, finally getting the charter plane, and taking the flight from New Vegas to Mexico City. And then once they're about to land to Mexico City, as the pilot says, then that's when he notices the bite. So,
and you also have to consider the fact that he really didn't get sick with the nuclear explosion, like with all the chemicals and stuff, with the smoke and stuff. Like maybe he was already enhanced with the bite by then.
Yeah, he was already resistant to radiation.
So maybe the transformation was always there, kind of like a birthmark, but the transformation didn't start until the alpha died.
Yeah, because on the plane, he didn't seem like he was sick. He didn't seem like he was mutating or anything. He seemed like he was legit just tired and needed to sleep, really. You know what I mean? When he kind of fell over, I didn't really get the feeling that, like, he was tore up or anything. I just felt that, like, he needed a nap before they landed, you know? So, like, yeah. Like,
the first symptoms was when they said that his skin was cold. Because that's like an actual symptom of the zombie infection. That's why they do, like, the temp check.
Right. Okay, good point. I forgot that she did say that your skin is cold.
Right.
So, yeah.
Quick question now. Like, let's just say outside of the time loop thing. Let's just say, what if the time loop thing is just a thing to have us conversate?
Yeah.
Time loop thing. Let's just
Okay.
Right. Now, it's clear. Like if we're looking at the end of the movie. Like, if they thought they destroyed the virus at Vegas with the bomb, clearly joke's on you. Turns out Vander had gotten bit, so technically he's the new zombie coming up. Now we clearly see that, like, the pilot says landing in Mexico City. Now, is this in any way, shape, or form connected to Dawn of the Dead? Is there any information in Dawn of the Dead where the virus comes from Mexico City? Where maybe this is actually like a prequel to Dawn of the Dead or something? I don't know.
No.
I mean, he said it was disconnected. And the only reason why I would say that, apart from all like the thing, would be just because all the modern technology that they have that they didn't have available in Dawn of the Dead. Tanaka talks on a smartphone, Batista has a smartphone.
Oh, wow. I actually found something really interesting. When Tig's character is actually scrolling on her phone, you can see them talking about a outbreak in Milwaukee, and Dawn of the Dead did take place in Milwaukee.
I'll confirm that. You see that.
So my thing is this. Maybe Las Vegas was really a hot spot maybe Vegas was a hot spot for the zombie outbreak, but it wasn't the only outbreak going on. I don't think it was really a sequel to Dawn of the Dead.
So yeah,
I think it was taking place at the same
within
time.
the same in the same timeline concurrently with.
I mean,
happening concurrently with Dawn of the Dead.
I see the headline. Tiggs hold the phone, and it says the first thing is just like U.S. I could take a snapshot of it or just screen it if you really want to do that.
After this, I do gotta hop off, guys. I gotta get ready for work.
All right, Vega. Well, thank you for coming, brother.
Yeah, it's great to have you, man.
I do want to see the screenshot. Let's see.
Wait, can you pull up that I just shared? It's Netflix, so I don't know. I know sometimes StreamYard kind of. Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, if you look closely, and you can see it says new information released about the 2004 zombie outbreak in Milwaukee.
So he literally canonized Dawn of the Dead in this movie by doing that. Zach is pure genius, because that canonizes Dawn of the Dead in the Army of the Dead universe.
Yeah.
Come on, Netflix, get Army of the Dead on your platform.
Wow.
Or Dawn of the Dead.
What if this is where Zeus comes from? You know what I mean?
Well, in the original Night of the Living Dead, the zombie outbreak was caused by a mist that came down out of space. So, I mean, even that had ties to aliens.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And it's unfortunate that we're losing you, Vega, but with you, you're leaving, and we got Mr. Prime Time coming in here right now. What's up, Prime? Welcome to the show, man.
You would jump on when I'm leaving, man.
What's good, gentlemen? What's good?
Man, we've been breaking down this movie on molecular levels, right? I mean, it is insane some of the stuff we're pulling out. So I guess while you're here, Prime, we need to know what your initial thoughts were when you first watched Army of the Dead.
I was wondering if everybody caught that Easter egg with the phone and with the Milwaukee. See Zach, he cryptic, but he said it's not connected to Dawn of the Dead. Technically, it is, which I already knew, because he said he wrote it in 2004, right after Dawn of the Dead.
Right.
So pretty much, so now when you look at that from the phone in the news, because the outbreak where it started on the dead was in Milwaukee.
Because this is Zack Snyder, we have to kind of do that. But I must make one comment that can kind of deter that for a moment, because Shazam made a lot of references to Batman v Superman, but I mean, it's
well, to counter that, technically Man of Steel and Batman v Superman are shared events between the Snyderverse and the theatrical verse.
Wow. Well, guys, let me get off right quick. Gentlemen, it was a pleasure being on here with you guys. I wish I could stay longer to break this down with you. But man, I'm definitely going to watch it again now with all this information and see what else I can get.
It's so much stuff inside the movie. Like, you gotta risk, but it's so enjoyable. It's so rewatchable. So you can rewatch Army of the Dead because it's such a good movie. So, but so it is what it is. I love Army of the Dead. I love it. It's amazing. I mean, like I say, movies are subjective. There's a lot of people that don't care for it, but that's okay.
Zach did say that this was independent of Dawn of the Dead, but Zach also threw in that Easter egg on the phone that proves that this movie is happening concurrently with Army of the Dead, with Dawn of the Dead, or is taking place, or at least the events that happen in that movie are acknowledged in this movie. So I don't know how you take that. It's just that it's the same universe, maybe.
Or I just want to create another debate among fans, like.
But you know what? I feel like Zach encourages this. Zach feeds off of this, and this is, like something that gets fans. This is what makes fans passionate.
Well, no. It's not George Romero related. What we're referencing, Stella, is the cell phone footage. You want to put that back up, Carlos?
Sure, I still got the screen.
Yeah, put it back, share the screen again. Thank you. This is what we're referencing here.
Yeah, the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead is so far apart from the original George Romero trilogy or quadrilogy or whatever, however many they made, that it shouldn't even be considered as it. I know it technically is a remake of it, but it is way off on its own. It should not really be considered.
It's completely its own thing. But you see right there, you have that headline that says new information released about the zombie outbreak in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the 04.
The 04 zombie outbreak in Milwaukee, which occurred during Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. So it is not connected to George Romero. We're saying that it's related to Zack Snyder's remake. We're not saying it's connected to George Romero.
Where do you see the year I can't see the year in
It
the
says
There's
article.
new information released
It
about
says
04.
04.
Yeah, it's bigger on my screen, but it says 04.
I did draw a conclusion to the old Romero film because of the outer space tie, but like I was just making a kind of a little joke about that. I wasn't trying to say that like because in the Zack film they did not say what caused the zombie outbreak at all. It just kind of just happened, you know. So,
Which is always more fun because then you can tell us more of the debate.
Yeah.
What movie you talking about? Dawn of the Dead, or you talking about Army?
I'm talking about the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead. They never really say what caused the outbreak, but in the original George Romero, it was caused by radiation or something from outer space. So,
Okay.
but they never said any of that in the Zack film, and they never even implied it. They didn't try to say anything. As far as I'm concerned, like it's just a movie that shares the same name, but they don't really have anything to do with each other. Oh, and there's a mall involved. That's kind of the only parallels. It has the same name and it has a mall, but aside from that, they are worlds apart, like galaxies apart. You know what I mean? Honestly.
Well, you know what other movie has a mall in it? Wonder Woman 1984.
It's all connected.
That's the scariest one. Damn it! Now you really terrified me there, Matt.
See, but that
want to hear anything about
Wonder Woman 84 would have been a better movie with a zombie outbreak. I can tell you that. I mean,
Wait, what did she even end up fighting in that movie?
Nothing. She fought lies. Not working for wishes.
But yeah, like really,
and they could have made that movie 10 times better if they had a rewrite that I thought of. You know
if it wasn't Jeff Johns writing it.
They could have tied it into the Snyderverse and all.
I'm telling Netflix to hire you, Carlos.
If they continued with that Snyderverse thing of everything leading to Darkseid, you know what I mean? They could have connected it to the Snyderverse if the Wishing Stone God wanted to be a new god. He was an old god, and he was like, "Hey, the time for the old god is freaking done," you know. So I'm hearing this new god thing. You know, there's a lot of like word of the new gods coming around, and when they come to Earth, you know, I'm gonna kind of be toast. So why don't I take over Earth first and then offer it to Darkseid, and then I could probably be a new god as well. You know what I mean? That's what I would like. That's what I would like. That's not based on any kind of comics, but I like that idea.
But yeah, really just going back real quick to really talking about to Zack's Dead franchise, I'm calling it. Yeah, going back to Zack's Dead franchise that's going on Netflix. Like, really, this is just really something that I think a lot of people will be very confused by. Like, why are people talking about this movie like it's a different genre? Like, that's really the thing about Zack as a whole. He really does like to go, like, for those who didn't check out the Netflix's School of Snyder that they're doing, like Zack said that what he likes to do is to make a movie with all of his ideas out there, like it's his last movie that he's going to make, and really like that gives you a whole lot of theories on what he wanted to do and stuff like that. And that really does sell to the audience, because you also have to realize that, like I said at the beginning of this, Zack basically makes a movie where that movie is kind of having sex with you, because you always want to come back for more and more.
Oh God, I love that analogy.
That's one way of thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like, great. It's great analogy.
Because he's like, oh man, I know I saw something on there, and I've been in there so many times, but I wonder what else he got left in that movie. And just look at BVS and Man of Steel, who like 7 and 5 years, we're still talking about those movies heavily.
Yeah, Vanity Fair or Variety loves talking about Man of Steel. 8 years later.
It has absolutely no heart, not one shred of heart in it.
Since we're talking about Zack, since we're talking about Zack and all his IP,
what else would we be talking about here, Prime? It's all about Zack.
Hey, everybody needs to know. Oh, the director's cut of Sucker Punch is coming, and I can't wait.
It goddamn well better be.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now that if the Discovery isn't taking control of that, Netflix is chomping at the bit to just wipe it. They're gonna swipe that director's cut.
Well, in the interview, I don't know if people actually saw it, and people can look at it, but Zack stated that I tweeted out though, but the dialogue was so sophisticated that Warner Brothers at the time, they actually dumbed it down so the general casual audience could understand it.
Yep.
So they did it they dumbed it down. Then the endings that we got, there's 2 endings that you can see now. But he said the real ending is that all the girls is on a stage. And there's something else that happens to actually open up more of the story. So I have to see that because, like I said, I think people now are going to really, how should I say?
Appreciate.
They're going to appreciate Sucker Punch more now because, like I say, and it always goes back to this. Every single movie that Zack has put out, it was ahead of his time. People didn't know how to react to it. Now that people go back and they watch it, they like it. Like it's like pretty much it's just like, hey, it is what it is. But if you can't get it, hey, you can't help that a lot of people don't like to think. Hey, it's their prerogative. They don't want to. But at the same time, I like movies of that stature. And
back to Army of the Dead, was it just me or did Shades' character kind of remind you of Blue from Sucker Punch? I thought that was a total revisitation of like that kind of rapey supervisor type dude character, and I think he played it pretty well. Not as good as Oscar Isaac, but I thought it was really neat that Zack kind of took something back there.
Who was everybody's favorite character in Army of the Dead?
Vander.
I call him German Dawson.
I like Vander and the German kid. I thought their friendship was great.
Aside from Sky, Vander.
Yeah, Vander and Peter.
Y'all like the Vander. Okay. My favorite character was Peterson.
Was who?
Oh yeah, Tig Notaro's character.
Peter's Tig's character. I like.
She was hilarious. Yeah, she was great.
She was great too.
I can't believe that she was added in.
And she was seamlessly integrated into the movie too.
Yeah, there was only one point where she
looked a little
crazy
flat. Part.
That when they first entered Vegas, but that's
really the crazy part. If you really think about it, WB couldn't replace a mustache, but Zack could replace a whole person seamlessly.
With $90 million on Netflix. Yeah.
Well, Tig's really skinny.
Zack said it was easy too.
Well, she's really skinny. She's easy to put into places, I guess.
I mean, if we're to believe that Chris D'Elia was in all of them, they had to repaint all the backgrounds or just construct new backgrounds. But they had to paint him out in group shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like still they would have to do extra work as well as matching the lighting with Tig's character, matching the focus and stuff like that. But yeah, like Batman was just saying, there was one part where she looked a little flat. That like she didn't really belong. And that was when they first entered Vegas. That's like the only part where I say it's noticeable. I could pull that.
Are you talking about like the real scene where they're in Vegas, or that like whole imaginary play by?
No. Actually, when they first before they see Valentine, but when they first go through the cargo doors and go into Vegas.
I'll have to look for that.
Oh yeah, that one thing. Yeah,
it looked a little flat. It was a little flat. Let me get it.
Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about.
Well, I remember like when they first introduced her, I was like when they were like going back and forth, I was thinking in my head, I bet they're doing that.
I got it. I'm just on top. I'm on point.
You are on this today, Carlos.
Yeah.
Here, let me.
I'll be
Dude,
honest.
I'm
like,
gonna write
yeah.
Zack Snyder a really nice letter about how he should hire Carlos as a writer. I mean, with the shit that kid's come up with tonight, oh my god, he should be working on this series, in my opinion.
Yeah,
dude.
that's
Oh
If you compare the shot, like, and if you compare the characters, Tig's like right shoulder is a little too bright. There should be a little back shadow, like with Dieter's character.
But
You know
the
what I
good
mean?
thing, the good
But
thing
that's the
about
only
this
time. That's the
is
only
it
time.
happens. Is this scene happens so quickly that unless you're really looking for it, it's not. You're not really gonna.
I did notice both times
Yeah.
I watched the film, I was looking for shots where she doesn't look like she belonged, and I couldn't find one, dude. To tell you the truth.
That's the only one I could find. That's the only one. Everything else is
but
basically flawless.
It's like really crazy how Zach could replace a whole person where WB couldn't remove a mustache properly. Like, that is insane.
Well,
to
here's
me.
something else that a lot of people don't realize. Don't talk about. They replaced a man with a woman, so they also had to change a lot of dialogue that referred from him to her, or him to he to she. They had to redub all that because, like Zach said, except for like one scene, they didn't bring people back for the reshoots. There was like one scene I think where they brought in some other actor with Tig's character.
It was Maria, the kind of like the love interest to Scott.
Oh yeah,
That's the only time that Tig was working with other people. Funny thing, her character, I whenever I looked at her, I'm like, why does she look so familiar? She was in Nacho Libre. She was the nun in Nacho Libre.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was
You're right.
Encarnacion, and I love Nacho Libre, and I'm like, what's up with her face? She looks, and then I finally got it. So, yeah.
But I'll say this: I'm very excited for the prequel. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
I'm just excited.
This is the Snyderverse, in my opinion. Like, you guys,
that's what I'm meant.
Being angry about the whole Warner Brothers DC universe thing, but as far as I'm concerned, man, this is the Snyderverse for me. I am living this from now on. Like, this is what is happening.
What if Darkseid's the one who caused this whole zombie virus?
He is more than welcome in this film franchise. I would like to see him.
I'd love to see him show up too.
This is one of the 100,000 planets.
That would be a twist that would make M. Night Shyamalan proud.
I mean, they say across the multiverse, Darkseid trying to conquer the multiverse. So what if the Army of the Dead universe is just another universe?
It would be very, very meta, Bat Dan, because we had the Snyder cut reels in the vault.
And he already
the Justice League reels were in the vault.
And in Justice League, Darkseid already fought one Zeus, so like, yeah, make him fight another. That'd be cool, even if it's crazy super zombie Zeus. Like, I'll watch it.
Darkseid went into one of the iterations of the Army of the Dead, took one of the reels, and it's like, this looks like a nice movie.
Yeah.
put this on in the cathedral.
Well, technically, the reels were not in the real vault; they were in that whole play-by scene that doesn't really happen.
Maybe that's in a different universe, though.
Oh yeah.
That's
maybe
true.
That's in a different universe.
Hey, I'm down with that theory too.
It's fun to think about.
Yeah, because even with the prequel, because I really want to see exactly what went on. So we know it's Area 51, and we understand that it's an alien. Because when the soldiers was actually distributing the package at the beginning, it's so crazy that the whole this little apocalypse happened because of Carhead. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I want to see exactly what they were doing in Area 51. And then the twist of the whole thing is that this is all the government. So the government pretty much probably was trying to do something to do this on purpose because they want to control the actual. They want to control it. So I want to know what happened in the prequel. That's what I want to know.
But as we know, they couldn't control. They couldn't control it. It just got out, and they needed the blood because Tanaka was talking to government officials. What I think is
really interesting is who's starring in the prequel, and that's Dieter. So my theory. So really.
Oh wow! This prequel's going to be about Dieter.
Yeah,
so
the
with it-
and the actors directing it too.
yeah, with Dieter being the star of the movie, like that really begs the question: Was Dieter part of the the Zeus experiment or something
Well,
that went down in Area
we
51?
do know Dieter. The reason why Dieter was recruited is because he has extensive knowledge of this vault and others like it. And in the prequel, we would see him tackling other vaults across Europe that were made alongside this vault in Vegas. Because like they had a special name and it was all made by the same architect. So this architect was making vaults all over the place. You know what I mean? And Dieter was cracking them. And like I guess what I'm guessing is this vault in Vegas was like the creme de la creme. And Dieter, he solved the other ones, or he was trying to at least. And then this one was the absolute best of the best. And then that's why he compared it to that one painting, and he was like, "You're like telling me if I want to have sex with this, like of this girl from this painting who's basically a goddess, Like hell yeah,
Stella makes a great point here. Harry Lennox is playing a Secretary of Defense in the prequel.
I thought he was just in the animation. I didn't think he was in. Is he in any of the live action stuff too?
Well, the animation is also a prequel, isn't it?
Yeah, the animation is also a prequel, but like the Dieter prequel is live action.
Yes.
Yeah, the Dieter
Army of Thieves.
Dieter has to be pretty special because Vander puts up with a lot of his shit and protects him constantly throughout the film. So there has to be something to that, since we know that Vander knows what's going on the entire time. So, like, yeah, it's going to be really neat if they kind of play along those lines and show you why Dieter is so special and why Vander felt that he needed to protect him in the ways that he did in the film we watched. So, yeah, I'm even more excited for this prequel now because I didn't know that that's what it was going to be about. But hell's to the yes, brothers. That's all I'm saying.
It's also going to be interesting to also see why and it's also going to be interesting if Dieter knew to push Vander in the vault, because we heard that, because in the beginning of the movie we hear once again Dieter say it's a door to another realm. So, like, did he know that? So, was he saving the movie the Prime Vander from and sent him to another universe or something like that?
I mean, I don't know if it's that deep, but yeah, the vault is symbolic of something. And
Yeah,
Dieter being explicitly tied to it, and being the only one who knows how to crack it. Yeah, and there's a reason why he's getting a prequel.
Yeah.
When is this stuff coming out? When is that going to start matriculating out, like the anime and the?
They didn't announce the live action prequel.
I heard that the Dieter prequel was going to come out sometime later this year.
It could be like very late this year or early next year.
Yeah,
the filming did wrap up. They already filmed it.
Yeah,
wow.
I thought they said the anime is coming out pretty soon, though, right? I thought
the anime about to come out. Yeah.
Oh, sweet! Because I can't wait to see more from this, man. Like, I am pretty amped for it. So, killer.
Well, I just checked on Wikipedia, so Wikipedia take with a grain of salt, obviously, but it says release date for Army of the Thieves is 2021. That's all it says. So again, I know anyone can edit it, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure, doesn't it? Yeah, checks out.
Reese says that Ray Porter is also in the animated prequel. This dark side connection is sounding more plausible.
Maybe.
Well, DC would have to really buy, or Netflix would really have to buy DC for them to legally.
Oh my God!
Wait a minute! If that happens, then yes, these theories will all. Then Darkseid really will appear in. Okay.
If that happens, that's gonna blow up Hollywood entirely.
Better than Disney buying DC, I'll say that.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't. I don't know if you can really believe that article, but yeah.
Well, I mean, the problem, Carlos, is that that one source that had put that out, and now it's being reported all over the place.
What article are you talking about? What are you referring to?
being a possible
It was that
Disney is gonna buy DC.
Yeah, it's looking to buy DC.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work with like monopoly rules and
Yeah, that would be
the only competitor to Marvel is DC. And
technically there are other competitors.
Yeah, technically, but like on the level that can compete.
DC, and Marvel already owns. They've owned Boom. They own parts of IDW. They've already owned quite a few parts of the comic book industry. So them having DC too, I think that would kind of put them more in monopoly
That's a
territory.
monopoly for sure.
Yeah. That's like
and the thing, then the reason why Disney is not going to get DC because DC's properties is more there. Even though not dark, the cost to get those properties will be ridiculous. Not saying that Disney won't have the money, but it wouldn't be a good idea for Disney to get it because they would really actually they would. How should I say? If we wouldn't the DC, how DC is now, they would totally change DC as a whole.
Yeah,
they would alter it so much. And that wouldn't be good. And besides, Warner Brothers ain't dumb. They're not gonna give up goddamn DC. They're not gonna get that up. It's like DC is a fucking gold mine, not just from the actual, not from your IPs, but you forgetting about
their
games, animation, animation movies. You got
don't know how much AT&T is willing to give up. I don't.
We'll see if they give it up though. I honestly feel like if they
Warner Media,
if Discovery does give up, say they do decide to give up DC, I think the first place that DC would possibly land would be Netflix.
That would be the best place it could land. I don't know if it would be the first, but it would be the dream come true place for them to end up. To tell you the truth,
it would be only two places that DC could go if they wanted to sell it. It would be, like I say, Netflix or Universal. They would be the only two.
Yep.
And that would be the only two places that it can actually go. Now, my only question with that, my only thing I would say with this is that if I don't think that Discovery, I forget the CEO of Discovery, I can't pronounce his name.
David
Zasloff. Okay. If Zasloff, now I want to speak to him probably from an executive's perspective. See, he knows that DC is a big property. He's not going to get rid of it. It's all about how you utilize the property and what you're going to put out there. Now, from what he said in his from his interview or whatever, you got to remember, Discovery is about their fans. They are about their IPs. They are about putting out content that people want. So if they're focused about that, and especially what he stated, what he stated was that he wanted to focus on Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. He wanted to focus on that. He wanted to focus on the Trinity. Y'all got to remember, when is the last time outside of Batman versus Superman that anything WB focused on the main characters in DC, which is the Trinity? When have they done it? They never have.
They're focused on Our Man, Blue Beetle, and
Plastic Man.
That's it.
Exactly. So my thing is that what he said was that it's all about the properties and how you utilize them and how you get them out there. And to this point is that WB has an empire in DC. And they don't know how to utilize it. We got great movies because Zack put them out there. But until this point, what have they put out since then? Okay. I mean, when they started making movies, we had Superman 1 that came out in 1979. And then you had Superman 2 that came out in 81, 82. Okay, so you got to think about all the DC movies before we got Man of Steel. These are the movies. Superman, you had Superman 1, 2, 3, and 4. You had Superman Returns and Supergirl. And then you had everything else was Batman. That's it. And Green Lantern. That's it.
And they didn't
That's
even
it.
make Superman 4. Wasn't that a canon film?
Didn't they try to do Birds of Prey?
No,
that
I'm
was
talking
on
about
TV,
before. I'm
and
talking
that
about
was-
any.
that
I'm
was
talking about
awesome.
everything before Man of Steel. Before
Yeah, I think
before there was
That's like the
even.
main comic line, right?
No, I literally think,
Not like Red or
was
V
it,
for
or
Vendetta.
was it Gotham City Sirens?
They
Constantine.
did a Birds of Prey TV series. but
That's
not a-
it.
Yeah, there's a Birds of Prey TV show. Yeah, with
Right.
Yeah,
I'm talking about movies. I ain't talking about TV shows. I'm talking about movies.
Then
Yeah,
I don't.
Constantine.
we did have Catwoman with Halle Berry. So
Oh yeah, Catwoman.
Tito.
That was trash. It was only eye candy because Halle Berry looked good. But other than that movie trash. It looked. The only good thing about that is Halle Berry. It's
Halle Berry in leather pants.
Steel.
Amen to that.
That's it.
We had Steel.
Yeah, we had
Steel.
Steel. We had
Shaq.
Constantine. We had
Oh,
V for Vendetta. That was before.
Yeah, I mean,
Those are Vertigo
yeah,
movies.
those
Those
are-
are-
Red and Red 2
count.
came out
Jonah
during.
Hex.
Jonah
Losers
Hex.
came out.
That's Vertigo.
Oh yeah,
doesn't
Jonah
count.
Hex.
Also Losers.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Those.
But it's not like the main superhero type. They're kind of obscure ones that could kind of go under the radar.
Yeah, those are
Exactly.
really good.
So that's what I'm saying. So you have all these
like
characters.
Our Man and Blue Beetle and
Yeah.
whoever else
If
they
they
try
made
to
a
dredge
good
up.
Blue Beetle movie, that would be badass. That's actually something that Warner Brothers should be trying to put out. To tell
They
you
should
the
make that
truth.
Kamen Rider style. That'd be
Wait,
sick.
Red?
Hell yeah!
I mean, if they do Blue Beetle correct, it will be good. But I would say that
Right.
Blue Beetle, they're gonna make it so kiddie friendly.
Yeah, they'll
because
make
of
it
Teen
Spider-Man.
Titans. Yeah,
I'll make it Latino Spider-Man, basically. Yeah.
they'll make it so kiddified. I don't know. I don't think that I would even,
Blue Beetle might be 8 years old. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, to compete with the new Captain Marvel Disney thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Zod, right? I ended up starting a whole new topic. Sorry about that.
But they're actually already doing that with the Black Kal-El. Like
Oh
Is
yeah,
that really gonna happen?
Wakanda Man.
in the
Wakanda Man.
Why can't they do Valzad, man, or
and
Calvin Ellis?
really was-
Calvin Ellis would be dope. I like his suit. I like his story.
I like
Yeah.
Valzad, but I think in Valzad's story it'd probably be way too big. Because it involves
dodgy territory because he could go dark side if you want.
because they already have a dark side controlled Superman in that one. So
Yeah,
Sickness
that's
go
right.
like that.
Like,
See,
no
the
Valzad.
Green Lantern movie. See, people be crapping on the Green Lantern movie. The movie is not that bad, to be honest. That movie
It's
is
just-
not that bad. I don't see why people don't like it. I don't see nothing wrong with it, to be honest with you. I like
It's
it.
just a bit anticlimactic, but it's not that bad.
It could have been a little longer. A little more character development.
Well, I
That's all it
mean,
needed.
the extended cut was a little better.
Yeah, the extended cut was better, but then when you look at it, it's like, okay, these are the good points about that movie. You got Oa, you got all the core, you got Sinestro is on point. Now, of course, you get to see Kilowog get two more.
I really liked Angela Bassett as Amanda Waller.
Yeah,
I thought she
Angela
was
Bassett was Amanda Waller.
Amanda
So
Waller.
my thing
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that you have to look at the pieces and the stuff that's actually in there. Now, the only thing I would say that was cheesy was that when what's that damn dude name? Oh my God, Prime. God dang, why in the world you forget this dude? Parallax.
Tomar?
When Parallax. When
They're like, Taika Waititi. He was
yeah. With
he-
Parallax, and then the way that he transferred his energy because and the people that
He looked constipated the entire movie.
Yeah, he just needed to let one out. He needed to go to Taco Bell, have a bean burrito, and just poop, and he would have been fine.
He had a bean burrito in his skull. It was just about to come out.
Yeah, I
Well, he
mean,
should have pulled it out and ate it because he just needed to let one drop, man.
Yeah, like
I would just do two things with that film. I would add like an extra 15 minutes. I would give more of a battle type of ending because you could probably have him flying around and do some kind of Death Star imitation thing, something exciting for the end. like a battle. And when he transferred into the ring, he's like, all right, let's go find some trouble. I think I would put in like Green Lantern on patrol, like doing a little Spider-Man thing. You know how Spider-Man had a montage of like taking enemies out? A little bit more excitement. I felt like it needed more of that.
Take it
What
easy,
it was
Carlos,
fine,
man.
I think.
Thanks for the brain candy, man. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
everything you came
really
up
gotta
with
make
tonight,
my
man.
way off.
Oh,
All right, later,
my
Carlos.
All right, Los.
That
Really
was
appreciate
awesome,
it.
man.
Yeah, I gotta go too, guys.
All right,
Have fun
Jeff.
on your
Thank you,
vacation.
Watchtower.
Jeff,
Oh
what
yeah,
you-
I didn't mention. If I'm not here next week, because I know there is a special show with Enoch next week. It's because I'm on vacation. So
Have fun in
yeah.
Vegas, cracking safes there, Carlos.
it's not Vegas. It's but yeah. thank you for the wishes. All right, bye everyone. Bye.
Okay, bye. But
All right,
yeah,
Jeff. All right, Los.
yeah. But yeah, I gotta go too, guys.
Take it
yes,
easy,
sir.
Chad.
All right,
Thanks for all the
Jeff.
good points
All right,
too,
man.
man.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.
Good stuff tonight, man. Some really
yeah,
good stuff
bro. Good
tonight.
seeing you always.
Hey.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think that the problem with the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie is that they didn't follow it up. Mark Strong was amazing as Sinestro, and I think if they made that second film with the two of them fighting, like there would be no problems. Like, yeah, people would say that it had a weaker first film, but I think like if they actually would have got a trilogy out of it, I think it might have been probably one of DC's stronger properties.
Yeah, the
in
second
film.
one could have been good because I saw Thor 1 and Green Lantern back to back, and they kind of felt like very similar. And I don't know, I felt the same about both.
It could have
Yeah.
been the
But
same
if they
movie.
followed up,
either.
it was good enough to follow up and do something greater. You know, it was a good starting point. They
Well,
just,
we gotta
Well,
get out of this
since-
mindset. I was gonna
I
say,
mean,
we gotta
the-
get out of this. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, we gotta get out of this mindset where a movie's either really good or really bad. I think we're in this mindset now where if a movie's not perfect, it's awful. And I think sometimes a movie can be in the middle. And I know this is a hot take. That's how I feel about Wonder Woman 1984. I don't think it's this fantastic movie, but I enjoyed it.
I'm going to tell you something, man. I think Green Lantern is a masterpiece compared to Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84 is straight trash. Now I had my problems with Green Lantern, but I would watch Green Lantern any day of the week and twice on Sunday before I ever watch Wonder Woman 84 again. So I don't know. For me, that movie was straight trash.
I agree with Bad
bigger
Dan.
hot take.
Wait, Bad Dan, go for it.
Go for it.
I think Wonder Woman 1984 has a better plot than Captain America: Civil War.
Okay, yeah, no. Like if you
I
said
guess.
Civil War and not Winter Soldier, I completely agree with you.
No, but I want to know why. This is interesting.
Yeah, but go ahead,
Oh.
continue.
Okay, first of all, let's go over Zemo's plan. If all of Team Captain America beat all of Team Iron Man, Zemo's plan would have failed. If Iron Man did not show up alone as a friend, honoring the accords that he agreed to, Zemo's plan would have failed. If Iron Man did not show up at the exact same time as Captain America, Zemo's plan would have failed. Also, what's the government doing criticizing the Avengers for New York? They sent a freaking missile there. Sure, you can argue it's a character
Very
flaw.
good points.
You know
But
what?
no
That
one
is a
called it
very
out.
yeah. I didn't.
Zemo had a lot of very lucky loopholes in his plan. It's
he
like
was-
one
he
to
was-
another.
He
Exactly,
was a
it also
terrible
gives
villain
the-
in that film. I mean,
Yes.
he got totally vindicated in the new TV show, whatever it was called. But
Falcon
like,
and
yeah,
Winter Soldier.
yeah,
And yeah, that was better. I like Zemo much better in that one. And here's the biggest thing of all. The Accords are pointless in the movie. It was all about proving Bucky's innocence. If you took out the Accords, they were just trying to prove Bucky's innocence. When did they actually fight to stop the Accords?
Technically, the court is still going on.
Yeah, but they never in the movie they never fight to stop them. They
That's
fight
right.
to prove Bucky's innocence.
It's just kind of there, and they forget about it.
That's the thing. Because it has the Marvel brand and it has actions and jokes, people ignored the plot holes.
Yeah,
There were more than I thought. All right.
there were a ton.
Oh,
That
I'm a
movie-
fan of the
that
Marvel
movie-
films, and I can tell you that Civil War is one of the weakest
It's
and
one of
worst
the
films
worst.
in the entire.
You know
run
what? I gotta rewatch Civil War then because you brought something forward to me that I didn't even pay attention on. I just watched it. I wasn't even trying to dissect it. I just watched it. It was entertaining. I just watched it. Why?
But
Because
that's the
I don't.
problem with Marvel movies, though, Prime. The problem with Marvel movies is that you don't have any reason to go back and rewatch for any dissection or deep thinking like what we're doing with Army of the Dead and all of Zack Snyder's movies. You never have a reason to go back. You watch it because it's entertaining. You can eat your popcorn, eat your food, whatever. You watch the movie, it's over and done with, and you never think about it again. And that's not and that's the problem, with Marvel movies as a whole. You can excuse all the plot holes and the thematic failures that they have because they make it entertaining enough to disguise it. It's like everybody loves that McRib sandwich from McDonald's, but what's so great about the McRib? You take away that sauce that they put on the McRib, ain't nobody gonna eat that.
No, they're not.
Marvel's got a secret sauce for these movies that blinds people. They don't know what they're eating. They're just like, oh yeah, this is great.
And they took their secret sauce from the show Friends.
Yeah.
Well,
much.
I don't know because that reunion is probably going to be good.
No,
Yeah,
Friends
that
is good.
reunion.
I just
That
think they took a
reunion is
little
going to be the thing that makes
humor notes
HBO
from
Max get more subscribers. That's
Yeah, which is sad because that's basically someone made a good point. It's basically just the equivalent of what Talking Dead is.
You know, I mean, I knew Friends was big, but I didn't know Friends was that big. I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was that
Like
big.
the show Friends from when I was a kid, like they're bringing that back. Man, they're bringing everything back.
Well, it's just a reunion, and then they have an exclusivity on HBO Max for you to be able to watch Friends. So that's what they're doing.
Okay,
So the
so it's not
reunion,
going to be a new show, though? Okay, that's good.
no, it's just
it's like a
reunion.
special.
It's
I
like
like
a special.
Specials are cool.
Yeah, it's
But
the
back
same
on the
thing they
wall-
did with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So they did that reunion special on HBO Max exclusively.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. I love
Yeah. So but the reunion wasn't that good though.
Jay,
So
I'm assuming here you're talking about the Hans Zimmer Beautiful Lie theme, not Beautiful Mind. And I found the use of Beautiful Lie in Wonder Woman 84 to be absolutely disgraceful. That piece of music didn't belong anywhere near that movie. In fact, if I was Hans Zimmer, after seeing that script and seeing what they were doing with Wonder Woman 84, I would have turned down the movie. I would have said, y'all go hire Danny Elfman for this because I'm not doing this.
Well, Hans Zimmer was the one who wanted Beautiful Lie in that movie. He was the one who got it in there.
Oh.
Yeah, because he said, like, I wrote this movie for this universe. Why aren't we using the song for this universe? Why aren't we using it?
Yeah, but it's not. But it's technically it's not.
I don't know if you
part
saw
of
this scene.
that universe, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, again, BVS is that, and Man of Steel, they're part of that shared history. Like Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman, and Man of Steel, they're the three movies that are part of both the theatrical universe and the Snyderverse. Even Prime had that.
Well, I'm saying, well, maybe Hans Zimmer had nostalgic feelings towards Zack, so I'll give it to him. Maybe he had good intentions by throwing that in there, but I feel like it was just so out of place in that movie because that movie was just a completely different thing. So I don't know.
Yo, Zod, there's one thing I want to know though. Yo, Koj, what were your initial thoughts of Army of the Dead, man?
There
what
we
did
go.
you think?
Yes.
And how did you feel just watching that incredible insanity, man? Get into it.
Yo, I freaking loved it. I liked it. It felt like it didn't feel like a zombie film to me per se. It felt like more like a weird modern Lord of the Rings because the zombies felt like orcs, like they had their own little culture or whatever, right? And they were on an adventure, but it also felt like a heist story too, like robbing a bank and all that, and the tragedy of it. Because, like, from heist films or even like Reservoir Dogs, no one gets what they want, and that's the height pinnacle of like drama. Usually, they always tell actors, find what your character wants and realize that your character never gets it, and build your character based on what magnitudes they would go to get what they want, how they react when they don't get what they want. And this film was like covered with that. And shoot, it was just great world building, the little nods of alien stuff. Oh man, where do we begin? It was just great. It was a great time. I freaking love that film.
I love that you brought up Lord of the Rings because I actually thought that too when Zeus first put on his mask. I was like, Man, he looks like Urukai, man. He
Right?
straight up looks like an Urukai. So, like, yeah, I totally see that, man.
And then they had hierarchies. You had the royals, you had the underlings or whatever who were faster than the kind of random ones who are around, and the dried up ones just give them a bunch of Gatorade and they'll run around. Who knows? It's just like, man, look, it was great, and I love so many characters.
And I love them all except Kate.
Who's Kate? I'm
The
not
daughter, the liability, the one that got everybody killed.
If she didn't bounce, man, it could have been a clean, wet getaway. Because if she bounced, then maybe the zombies wouldn't have found their way down. Ooh, if she bounced.
Well, that's why she's in the movie to be that liability.
Kate get on my nerves.
I mean, well, it wasn't completely her fault because, I mean, most of them would have died. I mean, Mark Strong, Dave Bautista's character, and Tig would have been alive still. But the zombies came down because of Coyote and the government person stealing the the queen's head.
I thought that's when they went looking for them.
Actually, I have to disagree with you because they wouldn't have all died, and I want to tell you why. Because if it wasn't for Kate leaving, okay, if it wasn't for her leaving, they didn't have to go to the Olympus building. They could have just left.
But by that point, it was only Dave Bautista and like Tig's character. Those were the only two who were left by that point.
Let's see.
It was the two guys trying to open the thing. There's one.
No, they died before that. The only two that were left were it was basically just Dave and it was just Mark Strong and Tig.
Right. Everybody else died with it. Yeah. I'm talking about for everybody. So let's just say if Kate did not. Okay, let's put it like this.
But she left the door open so those guys could get in and kill everybody too.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
well, they came down a different direction. She left the door open on top, but the other guys they came down through the elevator.
Elevators. The zombies came through the elevator. He's right, and she left it up so she could go ahead and get out and sneak out. So everybody else died except Scott Ward and Peters.
They held back to look for her.
Right. They had to go to the Olympus building to go get Kate. So if Kate never left, it would have been Kate, Ward, and her, and they could have got out if Kate never left. Now, the only thing is that now the money, it would have been a scenario, the money, that's the only thing that Scott Ward had. That's all the money they would have had. Okay. But at least, but all for naught, they wouldn't have known. Well, actually, they would have known the plan on why, because Coyote told them. So, or what went down. That's why the money was not even a significance. They had to get out. But if Kate never left, they all would have got out. So my thing is that Kate was actually the problem. Because like I said, once Kate left, once Kate was involved, I think everybody knew that she was going to run off. I think everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I knew that before they even entered. I knew she was going to run off.
Yeah.
So, right, everybody already knew that. My only thing was that the only thing that bothered me in the movie was that they wasn't making haste to get that money out.
Oh, no, they took their sweet time. Or my favorite, when they're in the top of the building, when they get Kate and her friend, they're smiling at the helicopter. I'm literally in the theater. People probably think I'm crazy. I'm like, go!
Yeah, me too. That's what I was saying. I'm like, they could have got some stuff out. My only thing was that when they was getting the money, I don't know. Well, even if they did do the elevator, no, they still wouldn't have got out because they was already coming. I was gonna say, those pushing carts. I don't know why they wasn't utilizing those.
You have to rewatch that movie. I've only
Well, Reese points out something that has been on my mind since I watched the movie the very first time, which is Kate is selfish. She left Gita's kids alone too. Yeah, why would you leave those kids all alone? Who's going to take care of those kids if you leave?
Yeah, she had no idea that the rapist guy was going to get brought on the trip too. Who knows what that guy would have tried?
Oh, yeah.
She really is the worst. I mean, okay, those kids were left in her care, right? So rather than take care of the kids and knowing that your dad is going out on this mission, and he could possibly find their mother. He could possibly come across her. At least there's a chance, but the kids would be taken care of. But no, Kate had to go. Kate had to push her, way through, get everybody killed. And now what? The thing is, to me, yeah, she's horrible. She's like the worst character ever.
Right, and it made me upset because I think a lot of people don't look at this point is that, and what makes it even worse is that you still went and she still died. She still died. Regardless of the fact, she still died.
She still died. So those kids still don't have a mother now because of
got nuked because they were at the camp.
Well, we don't know. They might have left. They might have been on a mass evacuation.
No, the kids got out the camp. Everybody left the camp. Everybody was gone.
No one's going to leave kids at a camp.
Okay, I thought that was the thing. I thought that they needed. I thought that's why the mom broke into Vegas so she could get the money to get the kids on the bus. Otherwise, everybody was staying there. No.
I think they need to get out of their situation being in the camps and
right. She wanted the money to get this so they can have a better situation and get away from the camp.
Yeah,
and that was the reason why she wanted to go get the money. So my thing was that when I was like, okay, I was like. Because, like I said, there was two things in the movie that you already know was going to happen. You knew the mother was going to go in there. We knew that. And Kate, that she was going to run off. Those are only probably the two things that I knew. I was like, you know what? Well, I understand the reason why Zack had to write it like that. Because you got to have a reason. And you got to have a reason for certain things to actually happen. But then you could have, it was still entertaining. But it's annoying for the simple fact is that, I'm not mad at the mother. She did what she had to do. She got stuck. She didn't get killed yet. It's a good thing. Now, is it possibly they could have tried to escape? We don't know. They could have. Because there wasn't no guards or nothing there. In the Olympus, they was just in the back part of it. And they just stood back there.
Yeah.
So they didn't try to get out of a window. They didn't try to do nothing. They just stayed in there. So either way it go, they didn't even try to make an attempt to try to even get out. Because either way it go, they was going to die anyway.
They were too.
Well, they were going to become alphas. I don't know if they were going to die. I think dude was just going to kind of try to transform into more of his kind and have some more queens running around. I think that he was basically trying to breed his own species, and those were 3 new mamas that he had. I don't think that they were gonna die. They were just gonna transcend into being whatever the hell Zeus was trying to change humanity into.
I was thinking,
but as far as everyone knew, though, as far as they knew, they were zombies and they were dead. As far as everyone, as the common people knew, they were gonna die. And
good point.
Turning the zombies was dying.
Yeah,
right. And that was the only thing. That was the main thing, like I said, because even when talking about the movie, there's so many things that could have been completely done. It's just that, Kate's character just pissed me off a lot. She just pissed me off a lot.
Basically, Zack gave us the perfect villain in Kate. That's what she was. She was the perfect villain for this movie because everything that she did led to something bad happen.
Yep. And you know what? And it's like some of the reviews that people were saying, and it's just like, people, you expect the movie to have a happy ending.
Why?
No.
It's a zombie film. I never did.
It's an excellent movie.
It's
not supposed to have a happy ending. That's the great thing. Because everybody was like, well, they didn't have to kill off Dave Bautista. He's the man. Dude, that's what makes it so great. He died. I knew a lot of people was going to die, but I didn't know that he was going to die. I didn't think that he was going to die, though. I
didn't
think
so. One character guaranteed to survive, honestly, and then when he died, I'm like, oh shit.
I had that feeling.
I didn't expect him to survive because he's Dave Bautista, and if Zack Snyder is planning to make other movies, there's no guarantee that Bautista would be available. So he was the one character I actually expected to get killed.
Well, I mean, Like I said, I didn't think that he was, but hey, it was great, because it's shocking. Now, the only thing that I would say, now I'm intrigued for the next part. That's awesome. because the next part is what I'm gonna be looking forward to, because now we know where it's gonna be at. It's gonna be in Mexico City. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So my thing is now my question would be is Van gonna be the new Alpha?
Yeah.
Well, he was bitten by Zeus, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was bitten by Zeus. He was, but
he didn't seem to be really shook by it. You know what I mean? He seemed to be pretty okay
no,
with
because that goes back to what we were talking about him existing outside of the time loop. So now he'll become the new Zeus, or it'll just start all over again. You know what? And you know what? That interests me too when he said that. Talking about the time loop and stuff, it feel like it might be reversing and all that stuff. So I was just like,
Playing with that high concept shit, yeah, man. Get deep into that high concept sci-fi stuff. Might as well. They already brought aliens into it, so and cyborgs and androids with some kind of animatronic zombies running around in the movie. So I think
it's cool. I think it had double meaning because I think earlier on that character showed some kind of deep philosophical, poetic type of logic, and then towards the end when our German homie opened the safe and then he had his own logic, then he's like, yeah, that's how you think. It's like they had that bond, you know, it's like their in thing, but it does work as a foreshadowing of the whole thing too. So I thought that was cool and showed more of the character too, because that was great. I just want to.
And also, we don't see Dieter die, so
yeah, they hint a lot of people not dying. Like even when he's going to bite Coyote on the neck, we didn't see it happen, but I don't know. I think
they're dead. Dieter and Coyote,
they're definitely dead. I think they saved the gruesome stuff for either something intense in the moment, or when you're seeing a bad guy just get it. That guy was betraying everyone. Seeing the tiger eat him like an actual tiger hunting prey. Oh, I was enjoying that.
When it ripped his face off, that was so gruesome, man. I loved it, man.
That was great. Oh, and it's exactly how
we knew we were going to get a scene with that tiger attacking somebody like that, because that was just done too brilliantly to not use it in that way.
Zach watches his
massive kill. Yeah, it was terrifying.
Well, there was actually one scene where I thought Valentine looked so like cute. When he was like laying down in the car, licking his butt. I'm like, aw, such a cute little kitty.
Yeah, when he just staked up on top of the car, just all, I'm chilling here. Yeah, I thought that was really adorable. And then he just was waiting for dude to come down, and then just eats dude's head and rips his face off, and it's so good, man. That's probably one of the best kills I've seen in a horror movie in a bit.
Very satisfying.
I hated that guy. As soon as he turned on our homegirl walking through the hibernated ones.
When he threw the glow stick,
yeah, that's what I started going. I was like, no, he didn't.
Yeah, because she was onto him. That was the stupidest thing. Whenever you're onto someone, you don't tell them you're onto someone.
Pretty much. But she
was also kind of like in a different mindset. You know, she wasn't really the smart, taking selfies and stuff. So she was in a different mindset. I think she was trying to flex.
Well, no, you got to remember, some people are a little bit more rational than others.
Yeah, that's I think that's her character.
Right. So that's just her character. And the simple fact is that, she did give it away and stuff like that. But it's like, I would say, that's probably another thing that kind of made me upset. And I wish, that's probably the only part of the movie that I say that was bad, because they could have saved Chambers.
I wouldn't say it's bad. I would just say that Zach was playing with horror movie tropes with that. It was very tropey, him leaving that in the film, but it was for horror fans, because that was
heist
horror movie shit.
Too.
Yeah, heist movies do it too.
Okay, I'll get with you with that, because when you go back and you watch the scene, she didn't get bit. She was fighting.
She went out like a gangster, man. She was
right, but the simple fact, her boy was standing right there. I was like, nigga, show.
Yeah, what are you doing with that badass gold AK, man? What, did you just buy that skin or what, man? Shoot them fools. Damn.
Right. I'm like, shoot him. He just stood there. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. But the simple fact is, he could have shot him. While she was taking him out, he could have shot him so she can get up. Or I would have been like, motherfucker, don't you think you need to try to get the fuck up and just run over here? So while you're running, I can shoot him.
The first thing they show you about Guzman is how good he is at clicking heads. They show you he's like hitting 3 or 4 with one shot and stuff. And then he's just going to sit there and watch his girl just get munched. You know what I mean? While he's got his beautiful gold AK and he's just like, oh, it's like, what? No, man, come on. Click some heads, bro.
Before it was game. This time, it was emotional.
Yeah.
You should have told her to drop the gas can. You should have said, drop the gas can, run over here, and then I'll shoot it.
Yeah, that would have been a good plan, too. Yeah.
I do that in Fortnite. That works.
But at the same time, hey, like you said, it's for the horror tropes and the ones I want to see the stuff like that. Because me personally, it was not a horror movie. It was because the movie wasn't scary at all. It was suspenseful.
A suspense action adventure type of thing.
Yeah, it's just a suspense action. It wasn't scary at all.
Yeah, but casuals will watch it, and he has to throw things like that in for the casuals. You know what I mean? That expect those tropes. So I saw why he had that in there, but I was a little let down by it too. But
yeah, but
I get it. But I get it, but then at the same time, I'm just like, damn. And then the thing about it is that you killed one of the characters that a lot of people liked in the movie, was Chambers. I'm saying pretty much everybody liked it. I mean, even though Peters was my favorite, Chambers was second. And what's so amazing, all the women had great roles.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm hard pressed to think of a character I didn't like in the film, except for Kate, or that's the daughter's name, right?
Kate. Kate's the only one.
I like Coyote. I like Peter. I loved all the characters except for that one. I mean, and she lives. God damn it! What the hell?
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
Working with the aliens.
But this also thing that I want to say is that that's why I got to see the prequel, because now I got to see what goes on with Tanaka. Because you got to remember. There were other teams that went in there. Mm-hmm. So it can lead up to that. We got to see the prequel. And with the prequel, I got to see how they actually maintain and sustain by putting those crates around Vegas and keeping them in.
Even when they took the crates on, it took some time too, because when the zombie was there, his hair was this long. And then he had long metal hair, like heavy metal hair. And I wonder how much time passed in between putting the crates on, because Homeboy had to get his diner. Everyone set up their life for a while. So I'm wondering, it's like a year maybe?
Right. Because you got to remember at the beginning, and that was so great about the beginning. Because pretty much that was a movie. It was a movie within a movie. It was a quick synopsis at the beginning. Okay, and you gotta look at it. Who was the girl? So we saw the part with the lady. Who was that? Now, the boy and the girl that got shot in the car, that was Vance. That had to be his wife or his son. Because when they got shot, he held that picture up with them in it.
Yeah.
And then with the young, now who was the lady that was the soldier with the girl?
The one that got crushed by the Connex?
Yeah. Who was that? And then the first one that saved the little girl, when she got the little kid that was on the ground, which you already know that's a horror trope, and a kid, and you gotta have an adult say, so I knew that. And she started bucking at him. But then she died. I'm trying to find out who was that. Because you gotta remember, that was the mission that they was talking about. All the people that we saved, they didn't get nothing for it. So what was the mission was to get the people out? Was that the mission?
Because they're experiencing fighting zombies.
You said
They
what?
wanted to get
Yeah,
as
because
many.
they're experienced fighting zombies.
Right. That's how they got the experience because they knew. So my question was that was the first mission
I think it was to get as many
5 years
people out.
past? Okay. So the mission was to get them out, but who put you on that mission? Because you got to remember, he said on the phone when he offered him a deal, was like, Tanaka, I don't like you, but the offer seems too good. Is this a second mission from Tanaka?
Yeah,
Or
they definitely
third,
seem like they work
fourth?
together.
So that's my question. It's like the beginning gave so much in the credits. And that's why the prequel is what the prequel is what I'm highly looking forward to.
Yeah, because you can bring everybody back because we fell in love with them.
Right. So the characters, so we'll know a little bit more about the characters before their demise.
Yeah.
So
Well, not all of them,
my
not
thing
German
is
guy.
They can't
right.
bring
So,
everyone.
Yeah, most
right.
of
Well,
them.
the only one that we're not going to know is Chambers. She was brought on because of that. But everybody else will probably Chambers and I can't think of his name. the YouTube
Guzman?
guy.
I think the
Guzman.
first three, the main three, right?
Right. So you want to know about them and their stories and how this whole scenario happened. So we got Area 51. We know they aliens. Where did the robots come into play? I want to know, why are robots zombies? That's my question. So I understand the definition of all of them. So you got alphas and we got shamblers. But the thing that tripped me out was that she said the shamblers come back to life from rain for a moment. So it's things that's in there that's all put in there that's like, okay, we got to get this prequel. I need to know what's going down because there was a lot of them right there because she said they had to get out of the heat. So my question is, there's so much, you know what I mean? So, and why? And just the other question, because people say this too, and I thought about it too. I was like, yeah, the fucking with it. Why did they just try to get out? Because if they're that smart and they're that sophisticated, why didn't they just get ladders and just try to get the fuck out? If they didn't
because
want
they
to.
don't want to. Yeah, they're content where they are.
It could be so.
Yeah,
Right.
well, they said in the film that they didn't consider it a prison. They actually thought of it as their own private kingdom. At least the alphas did. The shamblers, they were just stupid beasts, and they just fed. But as for Zeus, he just wanted to build his population. I think at some point when he felt he was strong enough, he would have, because a wall of Conexes isn't going to keep an advanced civilization behind. I think
We saw that in World War Z.
I think because they thought they were dumb creatures, like zombies usually are, that most things wouldn't figure out how to climb over something like that. And it is a kind of a novel concept too, building a wall out of connexes. But at the same time, it is not the most secure structure you can build.
But it's been like 5 years. Maybe he's building up his kingdom to then branch out. Oh shit!
But that shows you how easy it is to open the doors and move through them. Like when the coyote walked them through, and there's no way you can tell me Zeus probably couldn't figure out how to, open a door to one of them and get through.
Well, he used an elevator.
Yeah, he knew how to do all kinds of shit. He was a very, very smart little feller. So
No, I think he's smart because he went to Vegas on purpose. He knew it. He recognized or saw it, and they stayed there for Reese said is 5 years had passed. So,
if we get a sequel, I really want to see a rainstorm. That is for sure. You know what I mean?
Well, Zach says it's up to the fans. So, in other words, we'll get one.
How well is the film doing so far? I haven't really checked. Is it performing well?
It's number one. It's number one, and it beat It's the number one. It's the number one stream movie on Netflix.
No shit. Is it? It's even been like Extraction or.
Right, and out of 82, they say it in the United States because it's. Matter of fact, it's on my Twitter. It's out of 80. What does it say? Was it 82? They said 82 something. I forget what it is, but out of 82, it's the number one movie on Netflix and rated number one in 82 Well, out of all the
82 countries, right? Because
82 countries,
number one. I think it's number one globally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a Stella Baxter's. Yeah.
Do you guys know what studio is going to be doing the anime for it by any chance, Zod?
I thought I heard somewhere it was Madhouse.
No shit. Like if they get Madhouse to do it, that's going to be totally badass.
And Reese says it's still number one in the UK too. So yeah, all over the world, globally, it's number one.
Nice.
So yeah, we're
unlike HBO Max, you see Netflix is global, so you're gonna get those real world results. There's not gonna be no fooling around. Netflix,
they have no bias about numbers.
No.
Yeah, Netflix don't bullshit about numbers. They're not gonna fabricate shit. They gonna put the shit out there. Netflix don't give a fuck. And the thing, what's so sweet about Netflix is that they care about signups as well, but they care about that viewership. They care about that engagement. They really care about that engagement on what it is.
Because that's what keeps people coming back, you know?
Well, right. Getting at least one more watch out of me after all that shit Carlos said tonight. I'm watching it again tonight, probably.
Army of the Dead is that movie that you can watch over and over again because it's replayable.
Absolutely.
It's a replayable movie. So, but I would tell you, now I want to talk about this topic before I go too. I want people to understand it. We're probably not going to get Zack Snyder's Justice League on actual Blu-ray or 4K disc in the United States no time soon.
Why? I imported it. Mine's coming from Amazon UK. So.
Oh, it is? Okay. So just for the United States, we're probably not going to get it no time soon. And the reason why we're not going to get it, because they want people to sign up to HBO Max because it's an exclusive IP. So it's an HBO original property. So they're not going to put it on disc no time soon. Now, overseas, yes, like UK now, because HBO Max is not fully there. I think it's not there.
No, it's not there at all. It's not there.
It's not there at all. Okay. So that's the reason why they're putting it out on disc. And the thing about it is that the sales are all through the roof.
Yeah.
So
because everybody who wants it is, even in the United States, is importing it from overseas because I'm
doing it right now.
Yeah. Isn't that like $100 though?
No. I'm doing it right now. I'm buying it right now. It's $17.86 region free.
It's a
with
region
tax
free,
and shipping. It comes to $32.79.
Oh, that ain't bad.
If you're
give me the link.
Film,
Send the link and DM me with that link so I can go ahead and get.
All right, cool. I got you. I'll do it right now.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of film, you should have an all-region player anyways, just in case. Because like some films you can only get in certain regions, and
no, I had to do that to listen to my German release concerts. That's how I have like Michael Jackson's history tour. I have that one.
Okay.
A German concert. That was region free.
Well, back before they started releasing all these Korean and Japanese movies over in America, that's the only way I could watch some of them was with my region free player.
Yeah, a region free player is
yeah, but this says it's region free, so it should be all right.
Yeah, it's a region free disc. You'll be able to play anything Warner Brothers.
I threw it in our private chat.
Region free, yeah.
Nice, thanks, man. I'll probably actually even end up buying this because I like Justice League.
And it's spread across two discs. They do the first, I think like the first half of the movie on the first disc, and then they do it on so that it maintains the quality, the bit rate.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean that's cool. See, the thing is, I don't need to get the disc. I want the disc. I've already recorded it. I got it from my capture card. I got it recorded in 4K. So I'm not even worried about
capture card.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about it. I got it. I got it on my computer. So I ain't worried about it.
Hey, Wednesday, June 9th. Woo!
Yeah, that's the day I'm supposed to be getting mine too. June the 9th.
Yeah, so I mean it is what it is, but hey, all I can say is, hey, once the deal goes through, which will probably be a year and a half fully, we'll see what goes down. Like I say, the new direction with everything, Justice League, like I say, Justice League is successful. Damn, it's amazing, man. It's like, it's been, how long since it's been? It's been 3 months now?
About
3 months now.
Came out in March. It's May, so 2.
2. Oh, okay. So, hey, all I can say is,
count.
hey,
we're not talking about Wonder Woman 1984 after a week. So,
hey, my thing is, I'm such a DC person. I will probably just get Wonder Woman 84 on Blu-ray disc just to have it, just because I'm a DC cat. I'm not hardly gonna watch
I
it.
used to be like that. I can't do that though.
I wouldn't mind getting a copy just to destroy it on a YouTube video.
You just have to
I don't have
money.
Put it in some sort of like acidic liquids and just watch it melt away.
Bring back that fad that they used to do a couple years ago where they would heat the knife up to like 1,000 degrees and like just cut through it. Remember when they used to do that like back in like 2000? Like in 2017?
You could have a bonfire with Wonder Woman 84 Blu-rays and Justice League Blu-rays. And just throw them
I
in
just
there.
gave away my Justice League copy yesterday. I bought it like 2 years ago, back when I was in denial about that movie.
I never had that movie. I never had that movie
I know what
physically.
you mean.
I never had that movie physically. I had to have a digital copy on like one of those services. I think it's Vudu, but I never had that movie physically. So
Yeah, I got it physically too. Out of like blind faith or hope it would get a director's cut or something.
Well, basically with me, I like always arguing with people online that DC's better than Marvel, so I just could not have Justice League be a bad movie. So I was like in this big denial for a year that it's a good movie, it just wasn't as good as it could have been. And then when I rewatched, I'm like, oh wait, this really is bad.
and here's your answer.
I'm about to. It's gonna be like my thing is. I don't know if I should destroy Justice League or should I just keep it and just put it in the back of the shelf. So,
I let my dog poop.
Well,
on
what
it.
do you got? What do you got, Prime? You got a steel book or something?
I got it. What the fuck do I got? Yeah, I got when it came out. I got the some special edition when it came out. Because at the time, I wasn't even thinking about it. I just got it, and I was just like, hey, well, we got it. And then it's like now, it's like, I mean, I can get rid of it, but the thing is, because I'm almost done with that video, with that comparison video, and I might just, because the comparison video is over 2 hours, so it showcases on the whole bang differences in detail. I don't really need it. The Justice League one, I don't know if I might just get rid of it. I'm not sure. Or I might just keep it just to have it, because there's really no point. I mean, Snyder's Justice League is a real movie. So
You can get rid of it, bro.
Does your dog need a new frisbee? Come on, man. I know the dog.
I mean, I could use it, but other than that,
Well, I don't have Catwoman. I don't have Jonah Hex. I have
I don't got none of them neither. I don't. There's no point in even having those. But those. But yeah, I got V for Vendetta. Of course, I got that. But I majority got all the DC stuff. But other than that, that Justice League, man, because I'm never going to watch it again. So I mean, I'll never, unless I have somebody come over, or a girl or something, and she might be curious about motherfucking watching it or something like that.
Don't do it. She'll leave.
Yeah, dude. The only reason
no. I'll be like, no. I'm like, look, I'll be like, look, I'm forewarning you. If you really want to watch it, I'm telling you, this movie is trash. You gonna watch the real version, but then you gonna watch the version that whatever, and then But it is what it is. I might just keep it just to have it on the show, just to have it, because I'm never going to watch it again. You know what I mean?
Sounds like some Jigsaw from Saw type shit. Want to play a game? Let's watch Justice League.
It turns into like The Ring or something.
Yeah, dude. Watch this shit in 7 years and 7 days. You're gonna die.
Let's just say there's a reason why I'm glad with the Flash is erasing the Snyderverse, because technically speaking, Justice League is what's canon to that movie. So if the Flash wants to erase that movie from the timeline, why are we arguing with it?
If that's the case, I'm down.
Yeah, he saved that one pickup truck full of people in Russia. Like, what a hero!
And all those people in Russia that they saved are all gonna die of cancer anyway.
What's going on in Russia? I don't know what's going on over there.
All the in
Justice League.
Justice
In
League.
Justice League,
Living
yeah.
on the chemical plant.
Oh, them. Oh, yeah.
Screw
that was
those
the problem.
Russians. Let them get cancer.
They're all they made a big deal about saving them in that movie, and they're all going to die of cancer because it was such a toxic radioactive environment.
Was that
Well, it's
established in
Chernobyl.
Justice League?
They had
was
nowhere else to
Chernobyl.
live.
Yeah.
No,
People
that was
who have
the
been
dumb
kicked
part
out of
about that.
everywhere else.
And there's also that building full of people that Superman saved,
Yeah, he held it from the center, like the whole building didn't fall down or anything, you know.
which
Like,
Zack Snyder would never have.
Oh,
'Cause he-
wow. Robert Pattinson got a new deal at Warner Brothers. Oh,
of
yeah,
shit.
did you hear about
of course he did. Of course he did.
I just saw it now. You got to
That's what
remember,
saying,
I'm going
of
to
course
put you
he
like
did,
this.
because you know
I have
why?
not been keeping up with entertainment news because I've been working so much.
Because
Now
Warner
that I'm,
Brothers-
I
I'm
feel you on
started-
that, man.
They should
Yeah,
do,
so-
they
I'm just
should
getting
do that
home.
whole Batman versus Dracula with him. What was it called? Red Rain? Like they should totally do a Red Rain movie with Robert Pattinson. Sparkles the Vampire Batman versus Dracula. It'd be awful. I don't
well, it's not anymore, Stella.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
I just
I'm
know
in the
my
minority.
kid is gonna be raised on the director's cut, so it's good.
Yeah, good. Like I would never, if I ever have kids, I'm never letting them watch.
I wish
Justice
I could unseen Justice League because Justice League kind of spoiled any surprise from, the overall skeleton of the story. It kind of ruined that.
Yeah,
Well, the best thing about it is they really are two completely different films deep down to it. I mean, there are like a few shots that appear in both movies, but I mean, they are vastly different in every way, even tone and
Right.
color grading, everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to even confuse the two with each other to think that they were the same production at some point.
That's why when y'all see that dang video that I'm doing, everybody is
I
going to
want to
have a
see
very,
that.
very good.
I've actually
It's
been
gonna
waiting
be-
for someone to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very clear. So I'll put everything in perspective so everybody will understand. And all it is that the main things that for everybody that need to know was that you got to remember they only use 10% of the actual footage that Zack filmed. We know this. They only use 10%. But out of that 10%, what they did was that there were more reach. There was a lot of additional photography in Justice League. That's where the budget came from. It was additional photography. And then some of the scenes that were similar, they changed the color grade and then they reshot it with new
And
dialogue.
altering it. Yeah.
Yeah, they
And
reshot it with new
erasing
dialogue.
things, moving things in different places too.
Yeah.
That's
So
like
and then like for instance, like the shot of how can I say when Wonder Woman appears? Well, we don't see her in the real movie until 15 minutes in the movie. Okay, then you got to forget the part with the part at the beginning with Ma Kent when she leaves the farm or whatever. We don't see that until at least 10 minutes in. Well, is that? Let me see. Is that about right? Is it 10 or 7 or 8?
I'm not good with
It's
the
right.
timing.
It's right after the girls. Right after the girls were singing. After Arthur swam away. After he was
Yeah.
talking to Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite a while. It's quite
Right.
quite a ways in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way. That's what I'm saying. So, and then you look at the part when Bruce arrives, which a lot of people not getting is like, well, they could have cut that out. No, the scene shows you what Bruce went through to get to them because everything was closed down. That's why they were so amazed that he got through all that stuff to get there. You couldn't fly in, you couldn't do anything. So Zack and them
struggle's real.
Right. He showed everything that he was going through those mountains just to get there. I'm like, that's the purpose of showing that scene. It's showing you what he went through to get there.
The
Not to be
magnitude, the
chopped up.
importance.
Exactly. And it's like it's so much detail that they took out. Even the part at the beginning with Lois. You know, they reshot that scene. They took out, they used the same concept, but they took Zack stuff out and just reshot it at a different angle. That's all they did.
Why?
That's all they did. So it's crazy, man. It's
And
like
so
that's
funny
where a lot of
considering what I find so confusing about all that, Prime, is that they literally shot enough reshoots with Joss to where they could have just gave Joss Whedon director's credit at that point.
Yeah, stupid directors build rules.
Well, I mean, I don't understand
That's the
why
first
they
sign of
thought
dodginess.
I don't understand why they thought it would work. They don't explain the mother boxes at all in the Joss Whedon cut. They don't explain the motivation of Steppenwolf. They don't even explain really who he is or why he's doing what he's doing. Everything just kind of happens, and it just gets rushed through. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, the rest of the people have to fight Superman for about a half hour, and then they go to Russia. Flash saves a bunch of guys in a pickup truck. Superman kicks the shit out of Steppenwolf, and the movie's over, and you don't get anything out of it. It's a terrible, terrible film.
See, this is my question. And I'm going to break the movie down so I could actually see, because, and this is something I would love to ask Zach, though. Let's just say if Justice League was never compromised. Let's just say Zach could put out a 3-hour movie in the theater. What will we have to take out? Because you got to remember, he got to take an hour's worth of shit out.
Well, he could have sped up some of the slow-mo stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
There was a lot of slow-mo in the Snyder cut. Like,
I think that's for a reason, though.
I know
that's for a reason, though.
But they could have sped it up to normal time, and it would have saved them a little bit of time. That gave them at least an hour. I would.
No, they should have just done a 2-parter. You know, part 1 and then 2 months later, part 2.
But the thing, Coach J, is that that's going to be difficult, because for the simple fact is that you have to have
2 more after that one. So like,
right, because you have to have a cliff. You will have to have a cliffhanger at the end of part 1. What would you end part 1 on? There's really not a cliffhanger going through.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
There's no cliffhanger going through. So what I'm saying is that even
4 hour in the theater.
Well, you
could end part 1. You could end part 1 with the League about to face off against Superman.
But I mean, the problem with the Joss Whedon one is that there's no motivation for either the heroes or the villains to be doing anything that they're doing. Like, there's no crux to the film. The only main point of it was to bring Superman back to life, which made me ask, why did they kill him in BVS to begin with? And then when you watch the Snyder Cut, you completely understand. It's brought full life. You understand it, and it's done beautifully. I didn't understand it for the longest time, mostly probably because the Joss Whedon cut, and then that's disappointed for me to think that was the main crux of the film that they pooped out in theaters, is that the entire focus of it, out of everything that Zack shot, was just a movie that was to gloss over everything else to bring Superman back to life, and that was the only point of that theatrical cut of the film, right? I mean, or did you guys see anything else in it?
Steppenwolf's gonna burn the world down.
Yeah, he was just a generic villain who wanted to take over the world. But there was one line that said for Darkseid, but in general, there's really not, other than that one line, throwaway line, there's no reference to Darkseid. As far as you know, Steppenwolf is just a guy who wants to conquer planets for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. I do have one hot take about Justice League, though. I'm really glad we got that movie, and I'm going to tell you why before I get a bunch of angry pitchforks pointing my way. Without that movie, we would not have had the release of the Snyder Cut movement. Without that, we would not have made all the great friends that we have made. We would not have raised all the money for suicide prevention. So as much as we hate that, So as much as we hate that movie, it's a good thing we got it.
I think that's more of a testament to the people more than the movie itself, because we were always there.
But we needed that catalyst, though. Without that catalyst, the people themselves, we would have saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. We said, "Yay, great movie!" And it also showed how much people loved Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. Because before that, we thought we were the minority, people who liked that movie.
Yeah.
But the fact that we were fighting for Justice League so much shows how many people loved Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. And when these YouTubers but we got Batman v Superman, I'm like, we'll see how many people like the movie. Just because you're too stupid to pay attention to it doesn't mean the rest of the world is.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the theme. Maybe the thing is we need. Oh, sorry, go on.
I'm gonna say this one thing. Remember what I said? The reason why people didn't like BVS is because of the name.
Yep.
So there was a day that I just went through YouTube just looking at videos, and people all of a sudden are watching BVS, right? There was one girl that was reaction. she really thought it was just going to be Batman versus Superman fighting the whole time. That's all she was looking forward to.
Yeah.
So her fucking anticipation for that, she was lightweight disappointed because she didn't get it until the end. And I'm like,
yeah. And you know
but
you know how girls get when they don't get what they want till the end.
But
Kid, I'm
she
like that. What are you
understood.
talking about?
But she understood the concept of the movie. But it was just the point that a lot of people was thinking like that. But that's the thing. And even Zack Snyder said Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, that wasn't the title they was going to name the movie. So
Just Dawn of Justice, I thought.
no,
I like Dawn of Justice.
no, they said in the interview it wasn't going to be Dawn of Justice or BVS. That was the studio that named it that. And they had to stick with it. Because that's not what they was going to name it. They did, and after the studio had already said it, they just said forget it. They didn't have to think about names for the movie because the studio already made up the name for it. Because how it went was it was Dawn of Justice at first. So the studio, they tacked on Batman vs. Superman for marketing reasons because they're two big main characters. So as long as that you put Superman and Batman on the title, it's going to draw an audience, which it did. But at the same time, you confuse a lot of people.
And they marketed it like it was
Yeah,
a
it was
fight,
marketed
like a fight
horribly.
movie.
Hashtag who
Yeah.
will win? Who will win?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
way they
the
market
thing
it,
is,
it's just
the thing is, though, if you read comics, you know that when two big heroes are pitted against each other in a book's called This Guy versus That Guy, and they're both really good guys, it's not a book about them fighting. It's a book about them having a slight misunderstanding and becoming friends by the end of it. I mean,
Right.
that is like one of the oldest things in comic book lore. I mean, it's
Hell,
happened.
Yeah,
so
it
many
pretty
times.
much.
Spawn and Batman. I remember that
it
one.
pretty much. But then in the movie, but then you understand why though, because it was all Lex and his manipulation. That's all it was. So
Yeah.
my thing is that hey, it is what it is, but I think people now they are appreciating BVS now, except the ones that are just shrills and they just don't. They just, you could tell them in the face what it means and all the stuff that's actually in the movie and what it means. And the reason why is this way is that, it is what it is. Chris Terrio wrote a fantastic script. You can't get mad at that. He wrote a fantastic story. So my thing is, and the thing about it, the studio was the one that wrote BVS. They just brought in Chris Terrio for him to fix it up. That's it.
Well, wasn't
That's
Ben Affleck the one?
part.
Ben Affleck brought Chris Terrio on.
Yeah, he did. For that reason. That's what I think.
No. They said in the interviews that the studio is the one that made BVS. They already wrote the script. The studio wrote it themselves. They had a script already made. They brought in Chris Terrio to refine it. That's
And
it.
they take
And
all
they
that
add stuff
shit
to
when
it.
people didn't like it too. What a bunch of dicks, man.
So hey, it is what it is, man. And Chris Terrio, what he did with it, they did a fantastic script. And what Zach added to it, they did a fantastic job. I mean, it is what it is. My only thing is now, I think a lot of all these other movies is going to start coming out and with their actual director's cuts and versions. So,
we got the director's cut of Rocky 4 coming out. Rocky versus Drago.
Yeah,
For
he
real?
already cut the robot out though, man. What the hell? I'm just kidding.
You know what? There's one cut I want to see that no one talks about that much. The Jenkins cut of the first Wonder Woman movie. Because
there ain't no cut of it though. There ain't no cut of it.
I thought it was filmed. It wasn't filmed.
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Nope.
I was
There ain't
about to
no-
join
there
you.
ain't
I was like, hey.
There ain't
Yeah,
no Jenkins.
Patty
cut.
Jenkins already
Patty-
said for the first one, they was about to film it, but they stopped her and they filmed that version of the ending. Because she wasn't going to compromise. Because you remember the no man land scene they wanted to take out.
Yeah, but
They was
After
trying to
the
tell
film,
her
they
to take
wanted
it
to
out or
cut
give her a
out?
choice.
Really?
Yeah, they wanted to take out the no man's land scene. They was trying to tell her to take it out, or they gave her an opportunity. Either you can keep the ending and take out the no man's land scene, or keep the no man's land scene and change it to the ending that we wanted.
And
the no man's land scene is one of the most pivotal and iconic scenes in DC movie lore.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
they needed it.
They needed it. You need to keep it in there.
You're trying to make your movie too good here. We can't let you do it. You're either going to have to cut this scene out or put this shit scene in.
Because we're Warner Brothers and we're all about manipulating filmmaker vision. So if you're going to have to choose.
Yeah, you're trying to make this thing too damn good here, Patty. We can't let you do it.
But I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna bail out. Is that with this merger and with the deal actually coming to a close, I think that the CEO of Discovery, he's really going to make all the changes. He's going to get Warner Brothers' reputation back to where it used to be, where it needs to be. Because y'all got to remember, Warner Brothers has been around for nearly 100 years. Yeah. And it's kind of crazy for the past 10, maybe 12, 13 years is that they have, it's like all the bad press, just the bad press as a whole with this corporation. Warner Brothers has always been a standard for excellence when it came down to their films. Now all this stuff has been coming out, and you hearing all this stuff now about the old tactics. Their regime on how they do stuff. They're supposed to be a director-driven studio, but they kept on manipulating their artists. And then you run off directors, cast members, actors, and actresses. You gotta win those people back. And that's not good when you are Warner Brothers. That name means a lot. So with all this stuff going on, their brand right now is tarnished right now. They got to get that back with the trust. And I think once they get rid of all these individuals and get rid of that old regime and the people that was there and replace them with new blood and go back to Warner Brothers way and Warner Brothers motto, you will see a lot of things start to happen. For instance, Christopher Nolan. You screwed over Christopher Nolan, who was a money winner. You screwed over Zack. You screwed over Ava DuVernay. Oh shit, they've been screwing over a whole bunch of people.
Probably the most popular director of his era, man, Nolan. I don't think you can get any more panache than that man. And
exactly,
they have made an enemy out of him when he was their gold winner. Like
he was a golden goose.
He got blockbusters, critically acclaimed work, all the one package.
Yep. And so my thing with that would be they have to get back to what Warner Brothers stood for. And they have to get back to that. And I think it will happen. The problem is that we will not see these changes for another 18 months.
Right.
We're not going to see these changes for a while. So the thing is that, but what we'll see significant and big change is going to be, because everything that they got going on in the process right now, you have to see how those movies pan out. So the start of all of it is going to be how Flash is going to be received. And I think a lot of people, I'm going to put it like this. It's going to be the same thing like I told everybody years ago about Wonder Woman 84. I said once they announced it, it's going to be trash. I knew it was going to be trash. Okay? Once they put it and placed it in the 80s, I was like, oh my God. I already knew. Now with all the changes, people fail to realize the Flash has went through what? 4 directors?
More than that, yeah.
4 or 5 scripts. Everybody was arguing
and pulled so many times too. So it's been in several different versions of production. So who knows how many different films it's been during that time too.
Exactly.
It's going through its own time.
Yeah. So we have to look at it for what it's worth and how it's going to come out. And once it comes out, how it's going to be received. And then last but not least, we will say, well, the Batman is going to be successful. That ain't gonna even be a problem. We already know that. Everybody's gonna go watch that. But the question would be is that we know people are going to go out to go watch it. How is it going to be received? That's going to be the question. So, because if it's going to be the more serious take, the detective serious take on Batman, then that'll be good. But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see. Because me personally, Robert Pattinson is not a good Bruce Wayne. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. He might do good in the Cow, but he ain't no good Bruce Wayne to me. So that's just me. All right.
The film's got a great visual style. It looks amazing. So that's what I think a lot of people are going to go see it for. That's what I'm going to go see it for. I think it looks rad. You know what I mean? But like, there's a lot of things that I'm not happy about it with casting and certain things too. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to watch it just for the simple fact. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is that I'm sick of Batman movies, to be honest with you.
Straight up, yeah. They need to.
I'm sick of fucking Batman movies. You know what I mean? I'm so sick and tired of Batman movies. But, you know, I like Matt Reeves. I want to see what his take is going to be and what he's going to do. So I'm interested. Because Matt Reeves is a good director. He's not no bad director.
Yeah, he's good.
You know what I'm saying? He's not a bad director. So I like Matt Reeves on what certain things that he do. So my thing is, you know, it all depends on.
Reeves could have got his way when he chose Nicholas Hoult for Batman. That's all I got to say about that. I mean,
Nicholas Hoult.
That would have been interesting.
That
I would have liked to see him.
Batman, and the studio forced Robert Pattinson on him.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. So I didn't know that. So, oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess because Nicholas Hoult's too tall. They're tired of tall Batmen, so they wanted a short one finally. I guess that's why they forced.
You know, I think they wanted Robert Pattinson because of the ladies.
Ladies love Nicholas Hoult too. Like, chicks be all about that kid. At least as far as I know. Like, I know.
Or it could be this, because he did such a good job in Tenet. That could be it too. You know, he did such a good job in Tenet. It's like,
because then if they cast a guy from Tenet, they could be like, hey, it's still kind of close to Nolan.
Oh, yeah. Well, because Nolan knew that he did his audition during Tenet, because I remember there was like some story where Nolan knew that Robert Pattinson was auditioning for Batman, I think even before Robert Pattinson did.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, baby girl said both of them is a turn off for her. Hey, you know, it might be a turn off for you, but knowing that it's just Batman and maybe just the stuff that might be in it, you will probably go watch it just to watch it, just because it is the Batman. Because if you're a Batman fan, you're going to watch it.
Batman adds swag. Like, you know, people didn't start crushing on Christian Bale until he put on the cowl, I noticed. He's been around for a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That is true.
Because then everyone gets to focus on the Batman lips, you know, that's very thing. And they're like, ooh, what's under the cowl? You know, or whatever.
That is true. That is true.
I'm glad there's people out there like me, because I really am not looking forward to that movie at all. Like Sickness says here, I'm not looking forward to the Batman. It's just a reminder to me that it was once the Batfleck movie that was stripped away. Exactly.
See, I'm with Sickness, because when I get over that, then I'll watch it. But right now it's too soon. The wound is too fresh.
If they greenlight a Batfleck series, then I'll be a lot more open to the Batman, because here's what I think of Matt Reeves the Batman. I think of it as the Jon Snow of DC movies. Basically, so here I'll explain this one. So,
I love it. I know what you mean already, but go ahead, dude.
I'm talking about what we knew as of season 1, Game of Thrones. First of all, I'm talking about season 1, what we knew. So no one type in the comments, oh, but that was retcon in season 7. As of season 1, Jon Snow was the bastard of Ned Stark. What he did was wrong. The circumstances behind his existence were bad, but that doesn't mean it was fair for Catelyn Stark to judge Jon Snow, because he did nothing wrong. Just the circumstances that created him were bad. So you see where I'm kind of going with this with the Batman, right? So it's not Matt Reeves' fault or Robert Pattinson's fault what happened. The circumstances never should have happened, but for better or for worse, they happened. And I think Matt Reeves will do a good job. I much rather would have had the Batfleck project, because, well, there's something Prime said that I really kind of want to bring up. We're sick of Batman movies. That's why Ben Affleck's arc was so perfect, because he was mainly on for Zack Snyder's arc, where 3 Justice League movies, Batman v Superman, and in addition, Ben Affleck was going to do 1 Batman movie. This would give him time to shine on his own once, but still get a kick-ass arc, while not being completely redundant with the other DC movies or with other Batman movies.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the thing, and it's like expansion. And it's the thing that the only reason why I was anticipating the Batfleck series or the Deathstroke stuff, because now you are expanding the lore of, you know, individuals in the role gallery. You know, I mean, I'm tired of Joker all the damn time. That's all people know is Joker. People fail to realize Joker is not Batman's worst enemy. He's not. He's not his strongest foe. The only reason why Joker is so good because he's the most known foe. Because they just throw it up in people's face. Yes, Joker is psychotic. Yes, he is. But Batman's hardest foes is Deathstroke and the Riddler.
Man.
Those are his hardest foes.
Kite Man.
So I'm like, huh?
Kite Man. Yeah.
Kite Man.
Yeah. Or even fucking like Clayface, you know, people that really he's scared.
Yeah,
of,
dude,
you know?
Clayface would be cool for a movie too.
For a movie, yeah.
Because like, he changes the
they could make Clayface. They could make Clayface a really, really deep psychological horror Batman movie.
Yeah, dude.
Yo, there's some really
Cronenberg
good
with that
Clayface
shit.
stories. It's
You
not
could.
popular, but they have a lot of cool ones.
You could, but I would say, like I say, there's so many enemies in Batman's rogues gallery because he got the best villains. Like, God, what can you start? So it's like, because they keep on using the same ones that are just simple, that are popular.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you need to get other some of his villains in the rogue gallery. Like, you know,
it's like they're really getting the famous ones from the Adam West show, really, and they're trying to update that roster.
well, those are like the core ones. You, of course, it's Penguin and Riddler and Joker.
That's why I
You
like
know, and
Ra's al Ghul,
Catwoman.
because you know we don't really see.
Yeah,
him anymore.
race. I mean, race is tight, depending on which version of race that you're going to use.
Correct.
And I like what you brought up with Clayface, but you know, I would like for them to actually do one. I would say this. Now, the Court of Owls.
Isn't that what we're getting?
Yeah, that's what we're getting. Yeah, we're getting.
Isn't that what?
So that's going to be. So the Batman is going to basically be the Court of Owls, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're doing the Court of Owls, okay, that's good. Okay, so if they do that, see, they got to do different stuff. Like,
I think they're going to have like Riddler hunt down Batman the same way they were going to have like Deathstroke hunt down Batman. I think there's going to be a little bit of mind games there.
I would actually like to see somebody do a scary version of Zaz. They've done him a few times in films, but they've always kind of made him almost like a slapstick,
Give him his own slasher movie. Call it Zaz and make it deep psychological horror, like early Wes Craven.
Yeah, like.
Stuff. And I'd be.
You know what? That does sound good, though. I would love to do that. You know, if they did a Victor Zaz movie and have Batman chase him around, figuring out all the clues on trying to locate him with all his serial killings to obtain him. You know, Victor Zaz is a really good one. I like Scarecrow. I like not Scarecrow, but I like
dude. One of my favorite Batman comics is Cycle of Violence. It was written by Greg Horowitz. It was from Batman Dark Knight. And that was straight up old school Wes Craven. That was like, he was straight up terrifying in that book. He straight up kidnaps Jim Gordon and just psychologically torments him for like the 6-issue arc, and it is brutal. I would kill to see a Cycle of Violence film. That would terrify some people and show people that Batman doesn't always have to be some kind of like schlocky type thing that even the more serious films try to portray him as. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that would be something interesting to see. A person that tried to bring a serious edge to the role like Ben Affleck to do. But my key point about the whole Batfleck thing is, at this point, would Ben Affleck really be too open to coming back to the role? Because all it's done is cause him heartache. He never really ever wanted to play Batman to begin with. And since taking it on, his family's fallen apart. He had to go to rehab. So I'm not even sure I want to force the poor man, or even feel like as a fan I have the right to ask him to put the cape back on. Because I think
here's my counter to that. Ben Affleck is a grown-ass adult. No one should decide what's best for Ben Affleck except for Ben Affleck. If Ben Affleck says, hey, guys, I'm not doing this anymore, please stop asking, I will stop. That's why when I tweet like make the Batfleck movie, I'm not tweeting for Ben Affleck to come back. I'm tweeting for AT&T, Warner Media, HBO Max to put the ball back in his court. Because Zack Snyder even said when he came back for the additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League, he loved it. He felt like a kid again being in the Batsuit. And he did come back for the Flash movie. And he even said he played Daredevil because he thought it was the closest he was going to get to playing Batman. So there's a lot of exaggeration with what's going on with the whole Batman destroyed him. So
I think once all the changes happen. But the thing about this is that the change is going to have to happen. And remember what I told y'all, is age. They're getting older. So with him getting older, he might not want to do it. He may not want to take his body and make it go through all that again. Because if you look at Bruce, if you look at Ben now compared to back in 2016, completely two different men. He has aged. That's 2016. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 years older. Young. That was a 4 or 5 years younger Ben Affleck. He's getting older. So, remember, age plays a major factor. And people fail to realize too, it's 2021. The next time that we might get a Superman movie from Henry Cavill, that's 10 years ago.
Kingdom Come. He's gonna be older.
He's gonna be old. That's 10 years ago. How old? I'm gonna see.
Superman
Can
Beyond.
anybody remember how old Cavill was in 2013? Either he was in his late 20s or he was in his early 30s.
He was like mid 30s, I thought. No way, he's younger than me, so he has to be like 38.
He was born in 1983, so 1983.
Oh, I was off. He's
3
years younger. He's 36.
So he was in his 30s.
36. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 38 right now, so 2038.
So
I was right. Sorry.
So he was in so he was in his he was in his early 30s.
Yeah, he would have been 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even younger because it was filmed before 2013.
Right. So y'all have to take that into consideration. They are getting older.
Mm-hmm.
So with them getting older, they might not. The only one that will probably keep their thing is Gal. And I think Gal, and to be honest with you, I'm being dead serious. I think I don't even think 3 is going to happen. But I think if 3 is done, I think Gal is done. She's not playing Wonder Woman no more. I think she's done. Unless, which will happen, we will see. But those people at Warner Brothers got to go. If they start making all these changes in all those directions, Gal is going to stay. Mark my words. That's a guarantee.
Well, there's a difference
telling y'all
between
now.
Gal
Gal
and
is gonna
Henry
stay.
Cavill and Ben Affleck because those two are both always into the weight training. They always stay cut. Whereas Affleck, he kind of keeps a smaller frame, except for when he was playing Batman. He put on a lot of weight and then he got himself chiseled down. Whereas, like Gal, she is constantly doing the CrossFit. And Henry Cavill, I don't know what he's up to, but he always
does a lot of
seems to keep
jiu-jitsu and weightlifting.
Yeah, he just keeps himself ripped all the time. You know what I mean? He
Right.
just looks like a superhero in real life, whereas Ben Affleck doesn't really. So, like, as an older dude, I bet you it's harder and harder to like build that back up too.
Yeah,
But
that's why I say
if he wants to come back and play Superman, Batman, that's fine. I worry about people's mental health. I have problems of my own, and I know that like he didn't seem in a well place after that film came out. So I just was a little worried about the man for that personally.
I mean, that's true. That's true. And with Gal being pregnant, it goes back to what I stated before. You never know. Gal may decide that she's going to take a break from acting. She might concentrate on her kids and just worry about that. You got to remember, women are different. Their instincts is going to kick in. If they got babies, they going to take care of their babies. They ain't going to be worried about work. They going to be worried about their babies. So
I think she'll have a long career in acting. I think she might switch to typical action films after the superhero thing, or she might switch characters. She might go to Netflix and play like some Mark Millar characters or something. But I think that she might stick around for Wonder Woman for a while after Part 3 if they keep offering her good enough roles, because
she does voiceover work. Isn't she in Sherwood, the YouTube series? I forget, something like that.
I'm not sure. She might.
Is that a Robin Hood thing?
Yeah. Like the futuristic Robin Hood. I forget if that was her voice or not, but she does. She has
now we-
voiceover.
we-
Yeah,
Also,
and that too with them too. They're going to have other
Henry Cavill-
projects.
Well, Henry
Oh,
Cavill's
Cavill's going to be in the
Henry Cavill-
Highlander?
Yeah, he's going to be
Yeah.
the Highlander. Yeah, Henry Cavill going to do the Highlander. That's what I
Connor
said.
McLeod. He's going to be
Yeah.
Connor McLeod. So
There
that's
can be only one, I
so
guess.
there you
And
go.
that's going to be Cavill. He's going to be it. He's going to be the one.
All-
Good for
that's
him.
all. That's all I'm saying, man. It's like all this stuff. That's why I said we want the Snyderverse. We want all of it. It's just too many. There's too many things that got to fall into place. It's just too much.
I just want to see
like
this
I said,
Highlander
I
movie
said,
now.
We got the Highlander movie, but the thing is, we've got Zack's Army of the Dead universe to look forward to. So honestly,
Yeah,
I feel
Right,
like-
right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. With the DC stuff, people, I mean, the Restore the Snyderverse stuff is going to have to go ahead and just die down. There's no, to me personally, I'm just saying with this personally, I think there's really ain't going to be no point because there is too much stuff that has to go
Quickening.
right. There's too much stuff that has to go right. And my thing is this, whatever goes wrong will go wrong. And that's always what's going to happen because right now there's just too much stuff that has to fall in place. Okay. It's just too much stuff. You got to get people out of head of Warner Brothers. That's the first thing. You got to change that whole regime. You got all the actors in that big ass cast. You got to get them all together. Then you got to worry about the budget. Then you got to worry about the time. You got to worry about if you can get everybody together to even do it. That's the first thing. Are they willing to do it? Which I think a lot of them probably will. They'll probably will do it. Then they're getting older. And are they willing to go ahead and do it? So that is the key. That's the only thing. There's just too much stuff that has to happen. And last but not least, there is nothing filmed. And that's the number one. Nothing has been filmed.
Nothing filmed, nothing filmed except the air cut. That's all.
Yeah,
But-
and that's it. The air cut, we definitely gonna get that. But
And the Snyder cut a sucker punch. Just put that out. That's
Well,
all.
we're
That's
definitely
my favorite
gonna get
film of
that
his
too. We're gonna
anyway.
get the-
So
We're gonna get the Snyder
nice.
punch. Don't worry, we're gonna get that one. So
and I'm looking forward to that because I want that.
Oh yeah.
I love Sucker Punch. Sucker my ranking. Because I watched it the other night. Oh my
It holds
god.
up. It holds up. It's good. It ages
Yes,
very well.
I love the movie so damn much, man. The movie is hard. I don't see why people don't like the movie. With them fine ass women running.
Where do we get the Snyder cut a sucker punch though? That's all I'm saying.
I think a lot of people didn't watch it, and they just listened to what people on YouTube and Rotten Tomatoes said about it and went around parroting it, man. I honestly don't think that most people that shit on Sucker Punch actually watched it, to tell you the truth.
That's usually
They
the
didn't
case.
watch it. Remember what I said about Zack's movies. All Zack's movies came out at a time where people weren't trying to understand it. Now they're watching them. They're starting to understand them later on down the line. It's the same thing with Watchmen. Watchmen is a cult classic. When it came out in the theaters, ain't nobody go watch it. They ain't even go out to go see it. But then when it came out on video, everybody watched. You say what?
I did like 3 times.
Right, you did. I went to the theater to go see it. But what I'm saying is that the actual general casual audience did not go see that movie. They started watching it after it came out on disc. And there's 3 different versions to it. Theatrical, director, and ultimate. So my thing is, then people started to watch and then they started to see what it was about. It's like, it's crazy.
What's your favorite cut, Prime? Just wondering.
What, on Watchmen?
Yeah.
Oh, the ultimate cut, bro. Oh, wow.
Really? I mean, I love Ultimate, but like I catch myself watching the directors just for time constraints because the Ultimate is just so damn long.
Yeah,
but
the
I
Ultimate
do
is long, but
love-
you gotta remember though, because of the comic dynamic and with
it has
the
the whole
comic.
Black Freighter in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I love it. Because y'all know I'm a comic aficionado. So y'all already know how I am. That's how I love stuff. I refer to comics. That's how I am. But my thing is, that's the reason why I love the Ultimate. And the Ultimate Edition is hard to find anyway. So if you trying to find it, it's hard to find that motherfucker. So if you ain't got it like me,
Anybody that didn't, man. Is it hard to find now?
Yeah, it's really hard to find, man.
Because
You can find a
mostly
director's
came out
cut with
hard
ease.
copy, not digital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a hard copy. I've got it on Blu-ray somewhere down here.
Yeah,
I
the
love it.
Ultimate Edition
I know you
is a rarity. You can find a director's cut with ease, but that Ultimate Edition, the Ultimate Cut,
Yeah, because it was only
you hard to find that.
because the Ultimate Cut was only released a couple of times in special edition form. So that's the reason. It's one of those things where it actually has a high value because of that. But ultimately, man, yeah, that's my preferred version of Watchmen as well. Every time I watch it, I watch the Ultimate Cut.
Yeah, even though, and that's why I say it's just so it's lovely. And then I would have to say, and like I said, the more that I watch certain movies, they just move up. And it's just like I can't really tell you which is my favorite Zack Snyder movie. I really couldn't tell you because I love every single last one of them. They're just good. The Owls of Gaul will probably be my low tier.
Yeah, good. That I don't really even think of that too much of one of his films because isn't that like didn't he work with other people on that one?
Yeah, he did.
I'd say that's one of his films.
Yeah, it's one of his films, but he directed it. Yeah, so my thing, that's the low tier. But when you look at all his movies across the board, you know, Dawn of the Dead, Army of the Dead, and Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, you got Sucker Punch, you got Watchmen, you got 300. I mean, these are all good fucking movies.
Oh, Batman had to bounce.
And Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. Well, Batman, I wish you would have said that because we're about to end the show anyway. So
because Kojay was about to bounce and everything.
Yeah, everybody's about to bounce. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up right now. I think we had a great conversation. We pretty much summed up all our feelings on Army of the Dead. I'm looking forward to more. You guys, this has been great. We've had a long panel, a long show. I'm sorry that I'm sorry, Bad Dan. I mean, if you could have stuck around for another minute or two, I didn't know you were leaving. I was trying to keep up with the chat here, but thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you for everybody who was on the panel. I can't even remember. We had so many people today, but we'll be back next week on the ZodWriter show where it will be a special episode where we will have Enosh from Poindexter Lounge as the guest, and I will be raffling off some Blu-ray discs. So that should be fun.
I want to say one thing before we left.
Okay.
It was from what Batman said that it's a good thing the Justice League happened. I kind of disagree. I think it was like just a bad thing, and then the reaction was good, but that's
right.
I feel like maybe that, like in Army of the Dead, he didn't realize he had everything he needed. He didn't need to go to the heist to help his relationship with his daughter or to help his love relationship with what's her name? Sorry, forgot her name. I only seen her once.
She was hot too.
She was beautiful, but they were already there. His problems were more in his own fear, in his own mind, but his answers are already there with him. I'm saying that because I think the lesson of Justice League is that we shouldn't wait for a bad thing to do something great and voicing what we love. We should always voice what we love. We should always celebrate it so people know the good things and not just wait for the bad things. Why do we always have to voice up when something bad happens? Why don't we take this energy when something good happens and maybe, turn it into more of a celebration, maybe more inviting? But I think this is just a wake-up call. And I think if we celebrate more of what we like, then maybe the people on the other end won't be so clueless. So
I agree.
That's just what I want to add there.
That's awesome, man.
Because I'd rather if this 4-hour cut could come out. But it is what it is. Life is what it is. We can't go back and change the time continuum. But if we did, something bad would happen as a result. But I think now is the time we're in a good place. And I think we just grow and celebrate and be better.
Oh yeah, and
that's a wonderful sentiment, man. Thank you. That's
and with
really
movies
good,
and with movies coming out, and with movies like Army of the Dead to keep us excited and keep us celebratory, man. I'm with you 100%.
Because I'm celebrating this. If I celebrate this, I think everything Prime says is on point, and that's what has to happen.
Well,
that's why I like
got yourself more than one. You got yourself more than one Snyderverse to celebrate now, man. There's
But
two
it's
now.
the thing. We have a lot of Snyderverse out here to celebrate, and further down the line, if it's later and people get older, there's just probably another creative way to tell more of this story and dive into it. Maybe like how Tron Legacy did. We don't know, but I don't think it's ever the end.
That
It's
was
just
such a
how
good
it comes
movie
out
too.
is going to be different or at all. But I think if we just celebrate it, good things will happen. And that's the best thing we could do.
Dope. And I can't think of a better way to end the show. So thank you, Koj. That was awesome. Thank you, Prime, for everything that you said today. You're on point as always. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everybody, for watching, everybody for joining. And the ZodWriter Show will be back next week. Good night, everyone. Peace.
Peace out.